Hold on. Woo! Steven! What the fuck is going on, brother? Let me tell you something. Randy here, and I'm in a fantastic motherfucking mood. I'm in a great mood for two fucking reasons. Reason number one being, I just found out I'm going back to work starting Monday, and I am broke as a red dick dog. So that's getting me pretty fucking excited. Reason number two, buddy, is you just hit 100 motherfucking episodes. God damn! That's bigger than a 9-inch cock, let me tell you that. Listen, you reached 100 episodes way faster than it took me to get my 100th case of gonorrhea. That's big. I'll tell you what, by the way, I cleared it up 99 times. I'm still fighting that last slippery sucker right now. But goddamn, it's good to hear from you, buddy. I know I'll see you at work, and congratulations on 100 episodes. I'm going to drink this beer for you, buddy. Cheers.
Cheers.
There you go. Cheers to that.
Cheers. Oh, yeah.
Hey, man.
Episode 100. Lewis.
Hell yeah, dude.
Cheers, dude.
We made it.
Bro, so this was the original cast of the Two in a Blue podcast.
It was. Here we are.
Yeah.
100. Thanks for having
It
me.
only took 100
It
episodes.
only took 100 episodes.
2 years.
It finally happened, brother. Thanks for having me.
Finally made it. Yeah.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations, Lou. You guys
Appreciate
did something really special here, man. You know what I mean? You started out, in your basement?
Yeah.
Now here you are. You have your own little studio. Something nice going on. Can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah. It's cool.
For sure.
Might be the last episode ever.
Yeah, why not? And then over there, there we go.
Yeah. You try an ultra.
I'm good. We'll see by the end.
It's not like it's not like drugs.
Peer pressure.
It doesn't make you feel anything. It's a
I hear you.
nootropic.
We'll see. We'll get this beer down first.
Oh, come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
Come on, buddy.
All the cool,
See what he does?
all the
with
cool
it?
kids are doing
All
it.
the cool kids are doing
Yeah.
it? Not me. Not yet. We'll
I
see.
actually don't
I'll
like
look into it.
This is going
What
to
is
be
it?
so. It's just something that helps you focus.
Like Alpha Brain, essentially.
I guess no.
Okay.
I mean, it just works as you take it. It's like a localized.
Gotcha.
I guess Alpha Brain like hits you all day.
Okay.
This is something that just while you're taking it, it's supposed to. I guess there's some vitamins in it to help you like
Oh,
focus. I don't know.
interesting.
I don't really feel a
When you
thing.
say vitamins, it makes it
I don't think it helps me at all.
No?
Lewis
All right.
likes it.
Yeah. All right.
I like it.
I'll look into it. Maybe by the end. We'll see.
Yeah. So, man, that's cool, dude. Now we're here. So, do you remember some of the segments that we talked about?
Dumbest thing of the week.
Dumbest thing of the week.
Yep. What else you got?
How about Construction 101? Remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah, we were going to go on like a Reddit and find commonly asked construction questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What is like a construction question that you know of that like people commonly asked construction question? One you have to answer a lot.
One I have to answer a lot. There's a lot of questions that I shouldn't have to answer as many times as I do. However, a most commonly asked construction question: what are we doing today? Really?
How about
Even
from
though
like
we're
the
doing
public?
the same thing every single day.
I mean, dude, like so people just want to get like mentally prepared. I feel like,
Right.
you know, they just want to
Yeah,
know, like,
right.
okay, like, can you just walk me through this day?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just not like an ambiguous hole. I'm falling down for
Sure.
8 or 10 or 12 hours or whenever you decide to let me go home.
Yeah, well, where we're at right now, see, I'm at Georgetown University, so we're heavily impeding traffic, student traffic, the faculty, and everything like that. So, not only that, they have a lot of different things going on, politically. There's also, weddings there and different things of that nature. So sometimes initially when they plan their weddings, it's years ago, you know what I mean? And it's just coming to fruition and they're like, when are you guys going to be done? So that's the biggest thing I've seen as far as the progression of it, other than them being nosy. Hey, what are you guys doing? This, that, and the other, which, you kind of just give them a basic interview. So it doesn't really, go too long. We got to work.
You don't tell them exactly what you're doing.
No, not necessarily. No.
I tell the public everything I know to the fullest extent of what I know.
Yeah, I mean,
I will talk
yeah.
to the so like yeah, like that's the difference between like being on the ground as a laborer.
Right.
Is you take you take advantage of every chance you get to like just
Sure,
not
yeah,
work
right.
and talk to someone. And then from your position, I guess as a
Yeah, I mean, you have to, every step now, and congratulations to you as well. I understand you got a supervisor position. You're
Yeah,
starting
we'll
there.
say I don't believe it until I get the
Yeah.
keys to a truck. I don't believe
Right,
nothing. So
right.
we'll say, but thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a big, it's a big step up. You know what I mean? You totally have to look at like things from a different lens. You know what I mean? Even as far as like from the perspective of, joking around or stuff. I love pranks. You know what I mean? I used to do them all the time on the job. I can't do it anymore. But even as far as like, your time and stuff like that, like you see it as something differently now because, you are ultimately responsible for production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just more on your plate and you're thinking of it from a different lens. Excuse me. Not necessarily, who am I talking to or what am I explaining, but actually getting the job done.
So, do you have any Jay Eickmeyers on your crew? They like to prank and they're like,
no,
you're just so mad at them all the time.
No, you just can't hear. I mean, it's unfortunate, but no, it's so dangerous and there's like it's
What's so
scrutinized
dangerous
so
about
heavily. Well, I mean, we're doing 8 to 15 foot excavations. You know what I mean? Really heavy lifted, trench boxes. You know what I mean? The slide rail systems and everything like that. So,
What do you do? What's the project?
So, in a nutshell, the easiest way to say it is we are upgrading their water infrastructure. Georgetown, part of it was built in the 1600s. You know what I mean? A bigger portion in the 1700s, 1800s. So there is a
replacing
lot
the
of
main.
history. Correct, everything. I mean, the 24
Now,
inch
are you
chilled water.
tying the main into the existing as you go, or
No,
are you just
that'll
gonna,
be for the end. There will be tie-ins.
So
and
it's
everything
still
like that
just
on the
old main. They're all running on the old water.
everything.
Right now.
Yes, yes. So
So
not
you're
only
gonna
is
do.
it.
Are you doing all new services also?
No, it's different. So you have there's 24-inch chilled water lines, right, and then 12-inch heat and hot water lines that get reduced and everything throughout the job. But then you also have your 6-inch domestic water line. So it is high pressure water lines and everything like that. It is a dual
6-inch
trade.
domestic water line.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
Is that
But they're
is that common? It seems
yeah. Well,
really
throughout.
big.
No, well, throughout, like, if you go on
Is that what I
Route
have?
70 or out here, well, there's tie-offs, you know what I mean? There's tap-ins and
I mean, like the service from the main to my house.
no, that's probably like maybe a
It
1-inch
was
line.
2-inch, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 1-inch
So I was
line,
thinking,
all
yeah.
dependent, but
Yeah,
yeah.
6-inch sounds big. Yeah.
Yeah, well, 6-inch line, that's basically what's going through it. I mean, it all depends. A lot of times they're going bigger. When I was on Route 70, it was like 12-inch water main running through Route 70.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
you said the domestic. Oh, so you're running like the big.
Yeah, we're
the
talking
big-
about,
You're running
big-
mains off of the main.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
To be
I
honest
got
with
you,
you, there's civil, right? And then there's the steam fitters and everything like that. So they're the ones welding, you know what I mean, actually getting the pipe in the ground. But, we're doing the excavations, we're putting the trench boxes in, we're getting it to final grade, we're backfilling, we're doing everything else aside from welding the pipe and actually physically putting it
And how
in
much? So like how many total feet is the job?
there. Well,
Like
it
the
depends.
contract.
I mean, oh, goodness gracious.
The contract, like what's it go?
I would say probably about 2,000 feet.
Okay.
I'd say. Right.
And how many feet a day can you get?
Oh, good grief. I mean,
A week.
A week, a good week, you're putting in 40 to 60.
Wow.
It's a totally different ballgame,
Wow, dude.
Yeah. Well, think about it.
Is it a rat's nest in the ground?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, depending where you go. Like we're finally at the section right now where it's totally open. But dude, there's Duck Bank Central. I mean, think about it. You're going back
Yeah.
to the 1600s
Yeah.
that these things have been running. There's conduit, there's electric, there's gas, there's abandoned things.
Oof.
Terracotta pipe. Yes, going all the way down. 10, 15 feet. So
You drilling anything at all? I guess you can't drill. It's too
no,
big.
a lot of the digging when you get to that certain point, you know what I mean? It becomes hydrovacking. So it is time consuming and everything like that, sucking it out physically and then having to air knife it and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. It's a good job. I'm blessed to be a part of it. It's great for the resume. You know what I mean? Stepping in the supervisory role and stuff like that. It definitely has its challenges. However, it's definitely going to lead to different roles, man. And it's been a good job so far, for sure.
And how far is that from your house?
So it is about 102 miles. Yeah.
How long does that take?
In the morning, it depends. If I'm getting it and there's no traffic, I can make it in like an hour and 55 on the way
That's
home.
not bad.
No. The way home, no, you're talking 2.5 to 3.5.
Dude,
most
what
times.
town do you live in?
York,
I gotta-
Pennsylvania.
York, Pennsylvania.
hmm
Just from South Jersey. I just want to see how far this is.
I think I'm like 135 miles from here.
105 miles.
From here? From Hammonton.
From this exact location, 136 miles. Whoa!
Told you. Yeah, 135 miles.
Hot damn.
Yep.
If you left right now, you would get home at 10:14.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a drive.
Hold on. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And think about that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Can you see it? Oh my God, dude.
I used to do it every day just to come, here for work. I
Bro,
was
you could
working at
scroll
Ruperton.
out and see the whole entire America, and you're still aligned from here to where
Yep.
you live.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is a lot of driving, man. But I mean, we're used to that. We're in construction, so we're
Yeah.
from South. We're used to it for traveling in
Yeah.
North Jersey.
I
Do you
mean,
know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
it's
you go up there,
essentially
yeah.
like a day's work.
I know.
It's just every
Yep.
single day, and then it is what it is. So
Yeah. And you
It
get
sucks
compensated
sometimes.
for your time.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I make really good money, so
Uh-huh.
I'm blessed in that aspect,
Mhm.
and you just make good of the time. Talk to friends, right? Level up
Yeah.
our mindsets like we often do. You know what I mean? Podcast, books. So I mean,
That is the
you can
best.
pass
That's
the
the
time.
best part about a long trip is like you get especially the morning. I love those morning,
Yeah.
I love the morning drives.
For sure.
I love them. I
Yeah.
hate the afternoon drives.
Yeah, it depends, man. I mean, it's all the same for me anymore, but yeah, I mean, they're a little more tiresome, and you get a little more frustrated when you get home for sure.
What time are you getting home?
About 7:45, 8 o'clock.
So you're wrapping
8:15.
up at 5:30?
Yeah, 5:30. Yeah.
Oh, so you're 5:30. Yeah,
yeah.
you're on 10s.
Yep.
You're on 4 10s.
Yep.
Oof.
Yep.
That's nice, dude. You get the third day, though.
It is,
Third,
yeah,
third day of the weekend.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
That ain't bad.
No, it isn't.
And you have the option to stay.
Yes, absolutely.
So, like, if shit hit the fan,
Right. Or
And-
the
and
tired
you're working
days where I
close-
have a
yeah,
headache
yeah.
or something like that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just get a hotel and stay for the night. So it's not bad.
that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
It's unbelievable.
No, it definitely is. It's a great job,
It's
dude.
unbelievable.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on, Georgetown University. It's very symbolic. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So for me, it's been one of the best jobs I've had. Up there with Ocean City, right? Commodore Barry Bridge. I've been on some
Yeah.
really great projects
There's got to be a lot of historic stuff there. Yeah.
for sure.
Like stuff
Absolutely.
you can't touch. Like
Yeah.
I saw a picture you put on Facebook, and there was like a bunch of bricks.
Mhm.
Like those bricks, probably can't do
Oh, it's
nothing with
insane.
them.
Well, yeah. Well,
You gotta,
no.
like,
Oh, dude.
Yeah, you probably can't
Don't touch
them
the
things.
trees.
Yeah.
Don't even go near the trees.
Ah,
For sure.
that's nuts.
There is a drip line to where you cannot encroach that. They are fanatical about it, and like big fines, dude. A permit just to try to take a tree down is $10,000 there,
What?
just for the permit. In please, yeah, it's insane.
Oh my-
So they take things very seriously,
Yeah.
but you are
that's like as bad
stepping
as hitting
back
a
into
fiber
history.
optic line.
Oh
yeah.
my god, for
don't,
sure.
Don't hit a tree or fiber
Yes,
optic.
it's everything is a
expensive.
very, very, very big deal there. Think
Yeah.
of the most, the strictest job you've ever been on,
Yep.
and then multiply it by 10. That's what we're
Yeah.
dealing with here. But it's also a good thing in retrospect too, because especially on Facebook and different things like that. Looking at different job sites and things like, dude, you see so much more because like they're so anal there. You know what I mean? So like now, but like if I just pick out, all the hazards and different things. And not that you're trying to pick on it to be that kind of guy, but, it really could save somebody's life. You know what I mean? And elevating those standards and really holding people accountable to that safety aspect really does just bring a good safety culture.
What was the culture like before you got there?
Oh, the same. I
It's
mean,
the same, yeah,
the
so
company
you're
I'm
just-
working
you're just
for,
upholding
absolutely.
that standard.
For sure.
It's hard when you're at like a
Ragtag.
yeah,
Right, correct.
Just a fly by the seat of your
Absolutely.
pants company that they don't care about.
They don't care.
And then you're trying to change a culture, and everyone's looking at you
For
like
sure.
you're insane.
Absolutely. And I've been on both sides of
Yeah,
that. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And I've been culture.
Because you get it. You know what I mean? Like you get it. You're like,
It's so
dude, I
important.
know. It sucks.
It is.
It sucks to wear
It
a
really
hard
is.
hat. It sucks to wear a
It does.
vest.
Yeah, glasses
hot.
when they're foggy. I know.
It's hot. Yeah, I know
But
you don't want those
have
gloves.
to. Yeah, and especially us. I mean, we're cut 5,
Yeah.
high maximum, impact on the back of the hands and everything like that. So, it definitely is a higher standard.
Yeah,
But
I actually read something that if you're working with oscillating like a power drill or a bull hammer or something, like you shouldn't wear gloves because of the risk of it getting caught in the
And-
rotation.
right.
It's more dangerous to have gloves on.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it depends. There are certain aspects, and and even some of the
I
welders.
would make that argument constantly. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't wear this vest, dude. It's
Listen,
like
I
it's
know,
gonna get
but
caught.
you know what? Especially in you set the precedent.
Yeah.
And you see some hand injuries. You know what I mean? We had a guy slip on the ice, whatever. He was an operator, got out of the machine, wasn't wearing his gloves, dude. What did he do? He smacked the back of his hand. You know what I mean? Had a hand injury. It just does happen. It is important. Every aspect of it. How many times have you seen, guys not wearing a face shield, cutting guardrail or something like that, dude? The blade blows up and they're,
Yeah.
I mean, really, literally in their face. I can send you pictures. It does happen.
Mhm.
It is a part of our business. You know what I mean? Falls. We've had falls to where, thank goodness they were wearing their fall protection because it could be like that, dude. You're falling at a 10-foot excavation, man. You can get seriously hurt.
Oh yeah.
you know? So
Oh,
these
yeah.
things are put in place for us to utilize them, you know? And contractors that do have that supersede, you know, the dollar or getting it done that much quicker, you know, that's the reason why Riggs Distler's around for over 100 years,
Yeah.
dude, because that is their precedent.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So what else you got going on?
Whew.
I mean, not that you have time for anything else with all that.
I mean, try to make time for it, buddy. Whatever we can, you know, fly by the seat of our pants. You know, the only constant in my life right now is church and the kids. You know what I mean? So
See you running with American flags.
I love it.
On your shoulder.
I love this country.
What
We live in the greatest
what-
country there
what
ever
can you
was, is,
explain
and
it?
ever will be, brother. Yeah, you know what? Actually, dude, I saw some kid from like Kentucky or Louisiana or something like that, and he was just running. He had the American flag and everything. I don't know. I've just been kind of wanting to get back into running. You know what I mean? J-Ro, you know, just did a half marathon. You know, was just talking to him actually before I got here. He said hello.
What's up, J-Ro?
You know, so that was kind of inspiring me. You know what I mean? It's hard to get back into it, dude. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, we're sitting here.
Couch to
you know,
5K.
Hey, you know,
It works.
for
I've done
sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to get into that mindset of, you know, and just, you know, with rising tensions and everything like that in this country and everything. And I mean, my flag is on my truck every day posted up. You know what I mean? So all I literally have to do is grab it off the back of it and start going for a run. So, you know, it was a combination of J-Ro and seeing that kind of video and everything like that. And I don't know, like, how do you carry that flag? Like, I love this country, my man. And for me, not only did it, like, you know, just bring about a good motivation inside of me, you know, when you are dog tired and everything like that, and you do hear cars beeping and everything, it does kind of bring that motivation to keep on going when you are at your tiredest.
Have you experienced any like negative feedback?
No, not yet. I'm sure there will be. I mean, I've seen, you know,
Well, because that's like the first thing I think of is like it's so like
yeah, somebody's
it's
gonna
like a
run the
political
curve.
thing,
Yeah.
right? It's like,
Hey, it
but it's
could be.
not like
Yeah, it's not.
you're just grabbing a flag.
No, I love this country.
There's a guy in Hammonton who wears an Uncle Sam outfit.
Dude, I remember that. I
That's-
mean, I'm going back 20 something
People
years. I
think he's
still remember
crazy,
him.
but-
Yeah, well, listen, it is what it
Yeah.
is. You know, no. I mean, my father was a veteran, right? I'm like a quadriplegic, couldn't walk. You know what I mean? So, you know, I see that flag, dude, and standing for it and running for it, it really, truly, and honestly means something to me. You know what I mean? We're all looking for different ways, you know, motivation, right? To fades and lasts, dude. But that drive and everything like that, you know, that's what truly and honestly keeps you going. I haven't ran in 2 weeks. It is what it is. But you know what I mean? The next time
It's
I do,
hard.
I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to proudly run with
It's
that
hard
flag
to make
again.
the time. It's hard to like dedicate the time.
hmm
It's
Getting over that hump too. You know, well, it's hard to stay disciplined.
hard because a lot of things come up
Sure.
all the time. All the
However,
time.
I know, but we can't sit here and truly and honestly make them an excuse like
Well,
we
it's just
can't fit in into
yeah,
our day.
no, you can, but it becomes like so. It's not high on the list of things that you got. Like it's not a
It
priority.
depends. It depends. I mean, you know,
Well, when
if
you have a
your
lot
health
going on,
and all
look,
that,
you
yeah,
are
sure.
look. You're 4 hours on the
Absolutely.
road
Yeah.
a day, 10 hours on
5, yeah, just be-
working, right?
Mhm.
So that's 15 hours out of your day
Yep.
gone.
Absolutely.
You got to sleep for I don't know 6 hours.
Right.
Yeah. So what are you left with? 3 hours.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You got kids. You got a wife.
for sure.
It's really hard to justify. I'm gonna go for a run by myself.
Right.
Say you.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's hard,
you're
dude.
Right. I know. Yeah.
That's
you're right.
hard to make it a
You
priority.
are absolutely right. Yeah, so that's also been, you know, kind of a blessing as well with my son and at least trying to dedicate 1 day a week on the weekends or sometimes 2 or 3, depending on what we have going on. You know what I mean? He's been going to the gym, you know, so I kind of got into membership. Turns out he's not embarrassed of me. He actually does like lurking out with his dad. So that's been cool too, to be able to just
Yeah.
go with him. I just got it for the sauna, you know, but being
Sauna's
able
great,
to work out
yeah.
with him, it's pushed me a little bit more to work out more than I would. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that and then just run a mile and go on the elliptical and,
Yeah.
you know, we're hitting it a little harder and I'm leaving
And
there
the thing,
sore.
like, I mean, you're like me. Like, I have a really hard time, like, going to the gym and not going hard.
Yeah.
Like, I just do.
Yeah.
I've always gone one speed.
That's the
I
way we were
don't.
built.
Yeah. It is.
It
And
goes back
I
to
go
that.
in there and I'm like, look, I'm just gonna take it easy, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it easy for 2 weeks,
Right.
and I can't. Like, I have a really hard time doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I go a little harder than I should.
Mhm.
I'm way sore than I should be for the next like
Correct.
3 or 4 days.
Yep.
And you know, like it's not like I don't. You know, you really should
Find
just
that
take small
balance.
steps.
Correct. And that's where
I just
I
don't do
have
that.
actually changed this time.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because I really found that balance. Dude, I don't want to get hurt. You know, we're getting to the point where, you know, don't worry about me slipping down the stairs, you know, on that ice the other day. Like, that's not what hurt me. I caught myself. A couple of days before that, I actually hurt my back coughing. You know what I mean? So we're just getting to that age where those different movements and different things like that aren't. So, you know, sure. Thank you.
Are you done?
No, almost, but I'm good enough.
for you.
Yeah.
We're on the same pace.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just
Can you
chill.
grab me one there?
Right.
Oh, yeah, sure.
There you go. No, but you know, for sure, as far as, you know, from a working out standpoint, you know, my son, we were doing buddy curls, and I just did it with the bar, and I didn't have any weight on it, you know. So here he is, and his friends are there and everything like that. And, you know, up to this point isn't bad, but at the end he's like, hey, do you mind the next time if we do it? Can we put some weight on it? I'm like, yeah, I just wanted you to, you know, get it, right? So
Pyramids, dude.
What's that?
Remember the pyramid curls?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that what that is?
That's what it is. Buddy curls, pyramid curls, right? 1 through 10, and then back down. But I just didn't do it anyway because I'm not trying to hurt my shoulder, dude. Even putting what he did on the first time doing preacher curls, you know, the next I couldn't move my arm for like a week and a half right here. Just that muscle that I haven't moved for a while. So
it's hard to, it's, you know, it's hard to go light for sure.
Yeah.
But if you focus on just like isolating the muscle
and control,
that's it. Like that's all you really got to do. And the other thing that's weird too about working out is like it doesn't work as well as it did 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I could have worked out for like 3 weeks and noticed a major difference.
Yeah.
I have to put in like 6 months before
you think?
I notice a difference. Yeah.
Well, yes, it depends, right?
Yeah, my body,
yes,
my
if
metabolism
nothing
is
changes,
so much different.
Yeah.
My
for sure.
metabolism now it's like I start to work out and every piece of fat I eat, my body's like, oh, hell no. Like this guy's going to kill me, and it stores all the fat. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like my body doesn't know what to do. Like,
right.
Like it's just like going through this like weird thing where I can't eat like I did. I can't work out. I can't do anything. Like I'm just not who I was.
Yeah. Well,
it's crazy.
You know what though? But you have to get over that hump, dude. It's like anything. And that's what I was just telling my wife today. Cause like I said, I haven't been in the past 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And I was telling her, I'm like, babe, I haven't been to the gym, you know, in 2 weeks. Oh, well, it's all right, babe. You know, but for me, it's that consistency. I just got over that hump to where it sucked, to where I was enjoying it. And I was like, yo, let's go. Like, let's start getting after this. You know, I might not necessarily see it, but you know, I feel better.
I was doing CrossFit for a while. You know that?
Yeah.
Like a while.
We were just talking about slowing into it, not going too crazy.
Well,
with our
I was
whole
doing, no, but I was doing CrossFit for months and months. Like I was doing the Murph, like right, run a mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, run another mile. Like I was doing workouts like that.
Right.
Multiple days a week.
Sure. And
if I would have been doing that 10 years ago, I would have been like a velociraptor. Like I would have been insane.
Yeah.
I couldn't lose weight. Like it was crazy, dude. Like it's really all about diet for me now.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
important. It's very important.
I could shape my body however I want to with a laser focused diet. Which sucks though, because I hate it. I love to eat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. Can you change? Again, getting over that hump. You know what I mean? You're talking to somebody who, you know, as much as I love meat and, you know, McChickens and all that kind of stuff, you know, for a certain amount of time went vegan. And it was the best I ever felt. You know what I'm saying? Like if I ever had to really go back to something to where, dude, I dropped 24 pounds like that. Like it melted away.
If I was vegan, I would eat potato chips probably 90% of what I eat.
Yeah, a lot of granola. Yeah, a lot of
potato chips.
I forget what I even
French
ate,
fries.
No, it was the best I ever felt, dude.
Yeah,
how you making your own fries and different things like that.
Oh, you do that,
you know,
bro. We cook a ton in my house. Like that's all we do. We cook a ton.
Yeah, I know
we have a wheat mill. I mean, you know this,
right?
Just to eat like nutritious flour products.
Yeah, but there's comfort and then there's love in that. You know what I mean? You've grown up around that, right? The Italian,
my love language.
It certainly is.
It is.
You know, but can you switch it up? Can you even go to an alternate thing and find something, you know, that where you're not using enriched, you know, bread or grain, you know what I mean? Different things of that nature with what you're making, or you know, the process. That's really
none of the
cutting it
bread,
out.
none of the flour we use is enriched at all. It's all milled. Like we mill the flour, the wheat.
Yeah, but what process is it when it's already gotten to you? Right? Has it been fortified or enriched at all?
It's in a seed.
Okay.
So they have these.
I'm not sure about the whole.
I'll explain it to you. So the wheat, right? They're called berries. They call them wheat berries, but it's like it looks like a piece of rice, basically. It's what you see coming off of alfalfa,
right?
You know what I mean? Like whatever. They call them berries. There's an enamel on them that protects the nutrition inside of that wheat.
Okay.
That wheat is one of the most nutritious things you can put in your body.
Mhm.
It's like put here. It's like a superfood, dude. Like
Right.
it's a superfood. They found wheat buried in like the ancient Egyptian tombs with pharaohs
Mhm.
that they've taken out and sampled, and there's still nutrition left in them because that enamel is that strong. The second you pop that enamel and it starts to oxidize, it starts to go rancid. The wheat starts to go rancid. You have 72 hours from the time that enamel breaks to the
interesting.
time you ingest it to get any nutrition out of this thing. So we get this wheat, all this wheat, we run it through a mill, we
Okay.
put it in bread, and then we eat it immediately. Like that's how we eat. That's what we do it for the kids because the kids are not super nutritious. So
Right,
like
right.
now we can make pancakes, we can make muffins, we can make cookies with this wheat that is packed with nutrition.
Interesting.
We make Ezekiel bread, we make white bread, we make rolls, we make anything you could think. We've made pita bread, we make pizza dough, everything.
Now, with what you're using, is there a difference in like
Yeah,
what you're
grainy.
using?
Yeah. It's not a
than-
1-to-1 ratio. You can taste a difference, big time.
not just taste, but what they're using over in Italy or the Mediterranean diet and everything like that. Like,
Yeah, so most-
supposedly
if-
there's the wheat that you can get over in the UK and these other countries where the food's banned in here.
We're eating wheat like old, like the peasants used to eat it, right? So there, it's
Who is you are
we are
Okay.
right, but like what they used to do was
lucky you, dude. They had it better than us right now.
well, this is what they used to do, is they would mill the wheat and then they would sift it. When you sift it, that's how you get that like fine powder, right?
Mhm.
And all the bran is what's left over. That's like the chunkier stuff.
Okay.
They would give the peasants the bran. The bran was actually loaded with the nutrition, and then all the rich and the like the pharaohs and the the royalty, they would take the sifted flour.
Mhm.
So they were actually getting like the
Right.
junk,
Right.
and the peasants were getting all the good like nutrition.
Yeah.
But so we just don't sift it.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
what we do.
Gotcha.
And then like and the longer you let it sit, like it needs to like. You could tell, like when you cook, if you cook with flour, like you can tell the difference in the doughs, like
Okay.
especially like pasta. The pasta is very like, it's dense. It's like there's no air in it. Like it's just solid. You
Right,
really
right.
got to work with it. It's grainy. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio like you would use. General Mills all-purpose flour. Like
Right,
it's
right.
not a
Okay.
1-to-1 ratio. It's different.
Gotcha.
But like with a little bit of like reading up, you know what I mean? Like because every wheat, every different kind of wheat, right? There's red soft, there's red hard, there's white soft, white hard. There's ones I don't even know the names of them, and they all have different levels of activity in them, right? That activity is what forms gluten when you make flour.
Hmm.
You add yeast to make it more active.
Okay.
Right. So there are yeasts that you would use for like regular flour, general all-purpose flour that you would just get. Those yeasts are not super active because they don't have to be because this is like manufactured flour. So, but you can find yeasts and you can make yeasts with like sourdough yeasts and stuff like that with the flour that you're using that like really activates, like it pairs together. It's almost like a math, like this isn't as active.
Right.
So put this active yeast in. This is way active, so don't put this much, and then that's how you kind of play with it to
Okay.
make it more palatable.
Sure.
But it comes out pretty good. Like it comes out pretty good. My wife is, she does a really pretty good job with the
Good.
bread. Like we eat it almost every single day.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Do you think that's your problem though, as far as
No.
wait? Oh, right.
No,
Exactly.
my big problem is eating after dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I'll eat. I'll do great all day. Drinking is another problem.
Mm-hmm.
But my big problem is eating food after dinner.
Yeah.
Like I should, like if I could just
Cut it off.
stop eating
Right.
and go to bed.
Right.
Now granted, I'll eat a ton of fruit. Like I'll eat strawberries and oranges,
Yeah.
which is fine. Like I'm fine with that. But a lot of times it's like ice cream and peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're going to
Stuff that
bed
kills
like,
you. Yeah, it kills you.
Right. Exactly.
Kills your whole day.
Right. And then you're not necessarily fasting because although you're, by that point, you're probably getting 6 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? Your body is not fully, resetting and fasting.
Right. Yeah, you should cut off food, I think, like 3 hours or something before you fall asleep.
Okay.
For your body.
Yeah, I don't know.
I stopped with nicotine. Like I haven't had nicotine in months.
Interesting. Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I switched.
Yeah,
That's why I'm trying
okay.
to try
Yeah,
it. Try it. Can
interesting.
you try now? Nah, can you? Just fucking try.
Okay, I'll look at it. I'll take a look.
Just
Let
try
me
it.
take a look.
Put
I
it in
don't
your
wanna
lip.
try
It's a nootropic.
but
You'll be
it's
talking.
a nootropic.
Yes, it's good for your brain. Anyway,
Okay, we're gonna take a look here.
when I wake up in the morning, dude,
Uh-huh.
I feel like 1,000 times better than I did when a night of like a day of nicotine.
Right.
Because I have a lot of like I'm like 90 milligrams of nicotine a day.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm smoking or I'm dipping or whatever I'm doing,
Sure.
it's a lot of nicotine.
Yeah.
This is now I'm at 0.
Right.
And the difference
helping.
is it's big.
That's
dude.
good though. And
The sleep
how
is-
much is that? What's the cost comparison?
The cost is the same.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
get you. They get you no matter
Yeah,
what. They don't fuck.
yeah.
They'll give you a
Right.
break.
You're on the hook.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But I could stop.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Right.
Like I go hours. In the
Right.
morning.
So you're already past that 3 days of the nicotine threshold to where it's
Yeah.
really got you by the balls.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Good for you.
I mean, I still need to. I still like that. I still like the placebo.
You still need something. Right.
I
Right.
still
Right.
like the
Okay.
placebo. But
Interesting. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. No, haven't. Gotcha.
Try it.
I will.
Just
I will.
eat it, dude.
Potentially. That might be, right at the end for the 100th episode, and then we just bam.
I think you should do it like during the episode.
Yeah. All right. I'm not
It's not
there
going to
yet,
affect
though.
you in any way, shape,
I
or
know.
form.
I told myself I wasn't even going to drink a beer, but here we are.
Well, you asked me if I wanted
cheers.
blueberry wine on your way
Yeah,
here.
I know. Well, yeah.
That's full of sugar. Disgusting. I can't eat.
Why? I figured, cheers up, a nice little glass.
Yeah, I have whiskey. I would have had whiskey.
Say, I don't want to go too heavy. Figure something easy.
Yeah, Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mhm.
Ah,
So what else you got going on? Come on, man. You're like, what do you want to talk about?
what do you want to talk about?
I
Let's
want
talk
to talk
about
I
you.
want to talk about you.
I want to talk about you.
I talk about me every week.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. All right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's your turn.
All right.
What do you want to know about me? Go ahead.
I don't know.
I'm gonna
So
open
tell me about your book venture. Tomorrow after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, congratulations, by the way.
Thanks.
Very few people
Yeah.
ever write a book.
Yeah. So that's my second book.
Right.
And my son would say when he's talking about the day after tomorrow, like if it's Monday and he's talking about Wednesday, he says tomorrow after tomorrow.
Mhm.
He did anyway when he was little.
Right.
And I thought it was a great just way to say something.
Yeah.
Like it's just cool the way his brain worked.
Yeah,
I thought
for
it was
sure.
really cool.
That's cool.
So tomorrow after tomorrow is about kids that they grow up and they want to be something crazy. There's a king in there. There's a dinosaur. There's an
that's
apple
cool.
tree, and their parents are kind of like tell them like, hey, look, like you can't do that. Like
Mhm.
you know what I mean? But the kid, it's just like a dive into like a child's imagination kind of.
Cool.
And it kind of just tries to remind parents like just let them let them use their
Let
imagination.
Oh, wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely buy this one. I do have your Christmas book, Santa My Neighbor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, congratulations again. Literally, nobody ever writes a book, to be honest with you. And I've talked about children's book, by this point, according to my bold goals, 15 years ago, I was already supposed to be a New York Times bestseller. So
Oh,
that definitely never
good luck with
happened.
that.
Right? But, bold goals.
Yeah.
You actually did something here, man. And that's
Yeah,
awesome. Do you
thanks.
have any aspirations of writing books in the future?
So I have another one written. I have another one written. I'm not crazy about it. I don't know if I'm gonna move forward with it. And I just started writing, not a children's book, but like a novel.
Okay.
And it's a really cool story, man. A buddy of mine has a really good story. And it's I'm writing it as nonfiction.
Okay.
But it's very, very much inspired by a very like a funny, good action story that a friend of mine has about his life, and I have about 4 hours of interview with me and him. He just let me talk to him about it
Nice.
for like hours, and I got the whole transcript from it. I summarized the transcript. I made an outline for the book. And I started. I think I put one sentence on a piece of paper.
That's okay. That's all you need. It's an
And
idea,
there's another thing. Like I told myself I was going to dedicate an hour a night. Like at the end of the night, instead of watching TV, unless there was a game on,
Sure.
I was going to just spend 1 hour and I was just going to write.
Right.
And wherever it took me, it took me.
Mhm.
And I did it the first night and haven't been back
That's
to
okay.
it. But
Listen,
I
one
did get the
sentence,
first word on a piece of paper.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's the most important thing, man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because, when we are just sitting and we don't take that initial step or verbalize it and stuff, I mean, had I known that, we would have already talked about it, on our rides in the morning sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taking those initial steps, but not letting it falter. You know, I mean, if it's a bad idea, yeah, scrap it, you know, but if it is something worth going on, you know, even the other things that we've spoken about, you know, I do the same thing myself. Trust me, life insurance license, right? You know, C5 Cozy Designs with the shirts. I mean, you name it, the grind is limitless. And, you know, I try to do these different avenues, but, you know, staying consistent with them, right? Going from 0 to 100 rather than staying in that consistent manner and that consistent growth, right? Like the curl bar, you know, not putting weight on it, controlling that shit. You know what I mean? That's where it's truly at, you know? So those types of steps to take for yourself, whether it be in business, whether it be in your construction, whether it be in those novels, that little bit of consistency and doing that every single day, that's where it's at, brother.
Don't it scare you though? Like, do you ever think like your life's gonna just pass you by, and like you're just never gonna get to it?
No, I don't. I don't. Like,
you know,
it's
that
my
doesn't drive
time.
you.
It drives me, but it went from that point of, you know, yes, that being, you know, I'm scared of that happening to in the real time knowing I'm chasing it and brother, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? Every now and then, no matter what I'm playing.
But what if you don't?
I will. And even if not,
What
even
is
if
it?
I do
What is
fail,
it?
it's the journey. It doesn't necessarily, is it ever gonna, my wife was just saying this and we had this honest conversation.
Cool.
And like I was like, yeah, babe, you're right. Like it is never gonna be enough. Like no matter what it is, because there's always levels. It doesn't matter what we do. Like just like football, there's levels, dude. Right? We could either just play the game or we could win championships. Okay. I could either be have a life insurance license, or I could be one of the top producers and protecting families and making sure that I'm doing good in this world. Right? I could be, you know, I could show up to work for a paycheck, or I could go to work and I could put on and I could make a great reputation for myself, and I could have people want me to represent their company and be the face of it to run their crews. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's levels to every single one of those things, and dictating what level we're going to chase at. And that's really where the success comes. I'm going to do it at a high level, no matter what it is. I'm done playing it safe. I'm done living my faith inwardly. I'm going to live it outwardly. I'm going to live a little bit reckless as far as, you know, just, you know, saying the things I need to say and going after the things I want to go. Not in a reckless manner, but with that conviction that I am not going to fail. And even if I do, guess what, my man? I'm going to learn so much along the way and touch so many people, it's not even going to matter.
So, I mean, right now, right, you're like you said earlier, you know, you're making good money, probably better than you've ever done before in your life.
Mm-hmm. I could lose it all. I could lose it all.
Oh yeah, we're a month of bad paychecks away from it all just turning right upside 100%. Down, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It don't matter how good you're doing for how long. It's like we're always just right on the precipice of a bad week.
Amazon just starts coming to my house a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we go out to eat.
Yeah,
we're not being the smartest that we can be. You know what I mean? As I'm sitting here talking about leveling up,
but even if you were,
right?
Even if you were,
well, I mean, but you know what? When your disciplines and your convictions and everything match your actions, and they align with your goals, you will get there.
But here's the thing: we're always going to be like, unless we cross this invisible barrier, like we're always going to be closer to dead broke than we are the top 1%.
That's not true, though.
It is true.
That it's very easy to be within the top 1%.
There's 20 families in America that are hoarding all of the money.
Well, yeah, you're talking about the top 1% of the top 1%.
Yeah.
Okay, that's different than the 1% because it's very easy to be in the 1%.
If you're in the 1%, you're still closer to dead broke.
It doesn't matter, brother. It doesn't matter how much money they print. It's all going to filter to the top wealthy anyway. Within the fact, they could literally read this is fact. This is not even fiction. I could pull up the study for you later and all that kind of stuff. They could redistribute all the wealth throughout this country, throughout this world. Guess what, dude? It will be to the top 1% of the 1% within 5 years. It doesn't matter because guess what? We're the consumers.
How do you figure
they
that?
Are the producers. Yes, the goods and services.
No, their money's making money.
Would definitely be
their
very
making
interesting.
Money. Their money's making money.
No, of course, compound interesting and all that kind of stuff. Oh,
all
for
their
sure.
money's making
the wealth,
money.
of course.
You can.
Right, there comes to certain levels for sure.
0% chance that if you redistributed all the wealth in the country,
it would go.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
No way.
I will pull it up.
0% chance.
Absolutely.
There's no way.
Of course. I mean, think about the systems
and the
places.
But it's not all going. It's not all going to the same place.
Who do you think owns everything? I mean, think about what you're saying. The people that own everything in this country.
Okay.
Right. What are we talking about? BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard. Right. I mean, it's going to go back up there anyway. It doesn't matter where you're at.
A lot of money will get funneled there. But
think about that branch. We talked about
the
pyramid.
50%. Okay, you don't think 50% of the wealth is just piling on top
Stagnant?
of each other? I think definitely more than that.
You think 50% of the
I
wealth
think way
is just
more than
sitting there
yes,
chilling
yes.
and not active in
100%,
markets and different things
100%.
like that? I would
1
be interested to
bajillion
see that
percent.
statistic. I don't think so. No, not
Oh, dude.
necessarily. Man, no, just all chilling in
Yeah,
funds and everything.
yeah.
No, dude, it
In
moves.
gold,
It-
wherever.
Yeah, okay, depending upon it, right? But
Dude,
you know, in
it's
certain times that's
sitting.
been volatile. Yes, it's grown, you know, whatever. But I mean, just like anything, Bitcoin, people have also lost their ass in these things as well. You know what I mean? Just as much as we're saying, like it's just been chilling
Yeah,
there.
but you're talking
Dude,
to
we've
people
had
that
some bad
started
beats.
making money.
Housing markets, the 2008 crash.
But you're talking about the people that started making money the second this country became economical.
Well, I mean, think about a lot of those
And that
people are
money-
bankrupt and different things like that. Well, I know we're talking
we're
about old
talking about
money
the
here,
1%
the
of
elite
the
of the elite.
1%.
Right, correct. Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
these people, these families haven't worked.
Right.
I mean, forever.
Some do.
Maybe.
Listen,
Maybe.
it all depends. I mean, you know, yeah, these household names and everything like that for sure.
Maybe.
You know, but I mean, that's the age old
That's an
discussion,
issue, though.
right? For sure, absolutely.
That's
but
an issue.
I know,
What are you gonna
but
do?
at a
What are you gonna do
certain
about
point, what are you gonna do? And like,
Well, you know what you
I don't
can
like,
do?
like
You-
why the fuck do you care? I
Yeah,
don't know. I
No,
don't
okay,
know.
but how about they just stop? How about they stop counting that money as like American money? Like,
What do you mean?
Like how about we just stop pretending we have this great economy because we have like 20 bajillionaires in the country? Like, why don't we just forget about them, and then we'll just like focus on the rest of the wealth?
Well, I mean, think about.
It's only 2%, or so. It's less than 2%.
Well,
I think, of the
from
wealth.
what I think the big seven, the biggest seven highest stock, you know, carry basically the whole stock market, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, there are some, you know, mega giants and stuff like that, but you know, take them away. Why would you want to take those away?
Why don't we
right,
take the
there
families
is-
away?
there
Those,
is an
those families, those
absolute-
families.
Yeah, but the family. Why penalize the family, dude?
I'm not
Why-
saying
why the-
penalizing.
If this
I'm not saying
goes, you know, multi,
I'm not
whatever,
saying you're not listening.
it's
I'm not
it's
saying-
a spin-off.
But I'm not saying penalize the family. I'm saying let's just stop. Let's stop calling America this wealthy country and including
Yeah,
all
but
of
it
this
certainly
wealth.
is. It
Yeah,
is
but-
the
yeah, but-
greatest country for opportunity in the world. There is a reason why
Okay.
people, you know, die to literally come here.
All right, but
because
but
it
20
is-
families have 98% of the wealth or more. So if you cut 98% of that wealth off, which no one is ever going to get ever, and you just look at the 2% of the money that's in the country that everyone else has, including the government, then like you're not looking at that much of an amount. Like the economy, like it changes the whole narrative. It changes the narrative.
If they're
Like politicians can't say, "Look how great the economy is," anymore.
Yeah, but there's more than just the families, right? You go back to the entrepreneurs, you go back to the soul of the
Yeah.
American spirit.
I'm not
dude.
saying it's dead.
We will, you know, will certainly, you know, find different ways to innovate, right, and be that global dominance. We just will, until it's the end, right? I mean, you know, we are just about exceeding our, you know, trajectory for, you know, countries where they remain a superpower. You know what I mean? If you're looking at, you know, as far as history is concerned, but we, as far as I'm concerned, will find that way to be that global superpower, to always be innovated, to always be
I'm
a
not-
step
yeah,
ahead in the
I'm-
markets.
I'm not
We
saying
are
it's
the
dead.
greatest consumer the world has to offer. I mean, that's why everybody
We are the
needs
greatest
us.
consumer.
You know
That's
what I
why.
mean?
That's why people that are scared that like, oh, if you increase the
tariffs
taxes
and
to the
all,
rich,
yeah,
and
I know.
they're gonna
Oh,
stop
even
selling.
that.
They're gonna take their
but they're
companies out of
gonna.
America.
They are, well, they're going to take them to different places. I don't think they'll take them out of America necessarily, but they're going to take them to, you know, tax-friendly states. I mean, you know, California and New York, dude. There is a mass exodus
Yeah, I know.
from these two states. They have lost.
New Jersey's
California has
next.
lost $2 trillion of wealth since COVID. $1 trillion
care.
during COVID. Yo, $1 trillion
care.
just within the past week since
don't
they
care.
enacted their. I know
They don't care at all, dude.
They don't. And New Jersey's next.
Because
It's
there's like 5
unfortunate.
people running it.
It's unfortunate.
It's nuts.
Yeah, but you know what? Why does the squeaky wheel always get the grease? I don't know. I have a big problem. We don't
It's
even
the
have
rich.
to go there.
It's the rich.
Is it the rich or
It's
is
the
it the
elite.
corrupt?
No, it's the elite
No,
rich.
dude, I don't. I disagree.
It's 100%.
I don't. No.
What?
No,
what-
because there are certain people who have a lot of power, dude, who are not the richest, who are behind the scenes
okay,
and are
but
pulling
think-
some levers,
okay, think
brother.
about
And we're only talking, you know, $400 million guys that are pulling levers, some
Okay.
serious
But-
levers
but
here.
follow the trail, right? Who benefits, right? Look at the wildfires, okay, in California.
Uh-huh.
Now, if California would have allowed anyone to just desalinize the water for like whatever, allowed the infrastructure to desalinize the water to put out these fires, they would have allowed the infrastructure to bring water from North California to South California to extinguish these fires or do something to help them, right? then you wouldn't have these massive wildfires that are just
Is that
wiping
the
out
rich people? Is that the rich?
But listen, this is what's happening. They're wiping out. I mean, towns, cities.
Same thing with Hawaii, right? Yeah.
Now, so if me or you lived in that city, right? Don't matter what our wage is. Like even if triple our wage, if we lived in that city, what are we going to do right now with the real estate the way it is right now? How are we going to rebuild the house?
That's the part. They've only built 1,200 houses since the Palisades fire, dude.
Exactly. So who benefits from that?
Well, you're gonna.
Right.
That's
the people who are
corrupt.
It's going to be the people,
not the rich, the corrupt.
No, it's going to be the people who are
going to benefit.
It's going to be the people who own the land. It's going to be the people that come to guys like me or you and say, "Look, I'll give you."
The people that own the land, that's why it goes to show you that you don't own your land. You do not. You never free. Even if you have your house paid off, you don't own it, dude.
If you lived in,
stop paying those taxes. It's not yours.
If you lived in Southern California and your house got wiped out, you have no chance of rebuilding it because of all these restrictions they put on it. You gotta,
it's insane.
You got to put pilings 60 feet in the ground. You got to do all kind of
insanity.
It's $2 million to even get the foundation in the ground.
Of course.
Right?
Well, where does that come in though? That's corrupt. There's a problem with that.
Please finish my thought.
Ahead.
Thank you.
Pisses me off though.
Yeah. Right. So then someone says, okay, well, look, here's your plot of land. Here's your 1 acre. Here's $500,000 for it. Right. Your house wasn't worth $500,000, and now you're getting $500,000 for a plot of land that is worth absolutely nothing because you can't put a house on it anyway. Mm-hmm. Sure, here, take it. Then you move out of California, you go somewhere else, right? And now someone owns that land, and that same person bought every block on the street. So that person now has a town. You know what I mean? Like you can get really, really, really like rich like that because now you have all of these assets and all of this equity, and it's these people that are paying off politicians to put policies in place that make foundations $2 million to put underneath of a house. It's corruption, but it's also elite rich. Like
corruption.
you can't
doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you can't.
Yeah, but a $3 million guy can do that. Oh, okay, a little more, but it doesn't matter. You're talking about. We were talking about the very elites. Now we're just talking about corruption, right? Anybody can take money, $10,000, whatever. That doesn't take But it
starts with the elite saying corrupting
it starts with
people.
The corruption, and that's where we
you
are
think these
human
politicians
beings.
just walking around with their pockets open, like, hey, give me.
Listen, I think there needs to be a reckoning, and I think there needs to be a whole shakeup of the system, and I think yes, people need to start doing right. I think people need to have a moral compass. I think people need to start putting, the country over party, and I think they need to start putting their citizens and their constituents, over their pockets and over all that kind of thing.
I could agree with you.
Well, it's the age-old saying, dude. I feel like we are on the precipice of that happening, and people not letting off the brakes. You know what I mean? Or off the gas, excuse me, and really going for that, I think is really truly where it happens. Having these conversations. Dude, there's only so many times you can polish a turd before people realize it's a turd. Yeah. These politicians are exposing themselves.
Yeah.
Even in the line of work. Dude, just let people talk. Right. Let people talk. They will be exposed.
The problem is that the problem is still the money that they're being offered. Like they're making.
Yeah, but that goes back to even biblical times.
I understand that, but exactly. So how are you going to change it now?
But you know what, dude? It's
called
free will.
But since the beginning of time,
yes, I can't be bought. I can't be
I
bought.
know you
It
can't.
is so
but
hard.
That's why.
Yeah,
okay.
but it is very, very, very hard. And then yes, you add in, they're threatening your family, trying to put you in, compromising situations. It's a whole different level.
But how are you ever going to be a politician?
Oh, absolutely not. That's why I can't be. That would destroy me.
How?
For sure.
Why?
Oh,
how would they destroy you?
But dude, come on. I'm just saying, right? There's always everybody has. It just wouldn't even.
Okay, but there's people like you that have your job.
Absolutely.
I could get destroyed.
It's a dirty game.
If someone wanted
it's a dirty. I would love it. I would love to be in the political spectrum.
If the people that are not going to get corrupt won't run, then how is it ever gonna?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna elect?
Yeah, you're right. No, you're fucking right. Actually.
Yeah. No shit. But that's what I'm saying. Like that.
And you ran. Congratulations. Yeah, you're right.
This is why I'm saying like. And you said it yourself, like the political party doesn't even matter. Like it doesn't even matter
if you're doing the right thing.
The only thing that really matters is like the middle class needs to get back into power. It has to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've had that conversation. Yep.
It has to.
Yep.
Because when the political class, when the middle class is in power, you don't.
I also think the middle class needs to step up.
Middle class
lot as
can't.
well.
You can't.
I don't know.
All right,
I feel like
say you had a squeaky clean background. How could you run for senator in Pennsylvania? Do you have the time to run a campaign? Do you have the money? Imagine you had the money. Like, right? You're a member of LiUNA. Imagine LiUNA funded whatever. I think it's $4 million maybe.
Mhm.
You know, you came up with $4 million to run a campaign to be the senator of, or not assemblyman. We'll say assemblyman,
whatever.
right? Of Pennsylvania. So now you're basically, if you're working during this campaign, you're at 100 hours a week, easy. Like you cannot drive for 4 hours a day,
Right?
and run this
Yeah,
campaign.
for sure.
You can't do it.
Right.
You got to find something close to home. And if you don't find something close to home, like you better, every single hour you're on that road, you better be on the phone. Like you better be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
You get through this campaign, say you win, right? Say
That's why most of these politicians are
say you
wealthy,
win.
though. That's a big sacrifice.
Yeah. Well, say you win.
Uh-huh.
How do you be the assemblyman of Pennsylvania and work your job?
Right.
How are you going to go to the meeting at 10 o'clock in the morning at wherever?
No, you're absolutely right.
In Harrisburg.
Yeah.
You're not.
So what's the question? You're right. So
Right.
what's the question?
So how do guys like me and you do anything?
Oh.
Like, how do we get people that aren't going to be corrupt, people that are not wealthy, that just want more money and more and more and more, and they come from money and greed and blah, 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 blah. Like, how do you get that away from politics, get normal guys that would make normal decisions, like normal people want?
You know what? The school board, congratulations as well. School board is just as noble, you know what I mean? And has just as significant of an impact. You know what I mean? So, absolutely. Sure it does. Right? I mean, because, you know, a lot of these, you know, lower feeding, you know, positions and stuff like that, right? The little things in combination will certainly be the big thing.
But a school board you can't, like, you're still at the mercy of the state.
It's still, yeah, but it still makes it.
You
are. I know.
Big time.
Sorry,
You
New
gotta
Jersey.
you gotta be in a major. You have to have a lot of political influence to really make a big change. You have to, and you have to have enough of you in a position to make the change.
Yeah, but you know,
because one person, even if you were the assemblyman
Right.
in Pennsylvania,
You're right.
you're not going to do anything by
Correct.
yourself.
Right.
You need a lot of assemblymen. You need everyone underneath you, people above you. You need everyone to be on the same page.
That's why I said I think we're.
But that's what I'm saying. So if someone could figure out how to get out, right? How to get out from like going to work every day and working 8 hours and just being stuck in a cage at work, working for someone else, and then they could figure out a way to get out of that, right? Maybe they find an employer who's like, listen, just go be the assemblyman in Pennsylvania. That's what I want you to do for me. I'm going to still pay you. You're going to get your pay. But I think you are a valuable asset to this company. I'm going to let you be the assemblyman. When you could come in, you come in. When you have to be the assemblyman, you be the assemblyman.
I mean, that's a perfect world.
Right. Say you find it. Say you're the one, like you figure it out, right? And you get it. How does like 100 people in Pennsylvania find it? Right? Like you are the one. You are the outlier. You are the outcast. You are not the norm.
Right.
So how do you make that the norm? Like, how do you get enough people so motivated that you could get 100 people like they'll knock down every door that they have to knock down until they find a way to get what they want to get, and it's going to like go towards this cause of like getting these like middle class, uncorruptible people in places that they should be in. Like, how do you do it? How do you get momentum like that? How do you reach that many people?
That's difficult. And I think that is, you know, the reason that we are in the current political landscape. But, you know, even just from a broader, you know, spectrum, you know, in our daily lives, dude. I mean, our lives aren't different, right? We're drowned out, you know what I mean? From like really what we were put here to do. I mean, let's think about it. You know what I mean? Even from when we were kids, dude, it's a lot different. You know, our whole lives, what we did, what the conversations we had with our parents, you know, the time that we spent, right, with our friends and different things like that. It is all just changed, you know? So I think not only, you know, do you have to kind of have that realization and find that common ground, right, between that old school and that new school, and how to reach that new school, especially because they have become a little softer, right? And just learn a different way, or respond to things, you know, a little bit differently. And I think you just really do need to reinvigorate that next generation, right? Because it is going to lie in them. It is going to lie in the future. It is going to lie in the school boards. It is going to lie in that assemblyman. You know, these lower feeding things, the Hawks coaches, right? The football coaches, the baseball coaches, the cheerleading coaches. These are very, very important roles. And although they may not have a political, you know, whatever, they are just as important.
Well, I think.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think.
But getting back to the basics, really, truly, and honestly, because although we are, you know, advancing as a civilization, dude, we're back to hieroglyphics. You know, I talk in emojis, you know, quite often, or put them on the ends of things. You know what I'm saying? Technology has been great, but it has also have dumbed down us emotionally, morally, right? And I definitely think like we just need a certain common ground in between there.
Well, how do you go back? Is the thing. Like you don't. So you need
you set boundaries.
Yeah, but
you set boundaries and principles and values, and you do not waver for them to a certain degree.
But you need an uprising.
No, it starts with me. It starts with you, dude. I can't necessarily control what's going on out in the streets or whatever. That might not be the best place for me. But you know what I can do? I can control what goes on in the four walls of my household, and how my kids are conducting themselves outside, or my social media presence.
We talked about this earlier.
Especially.
We talked about this earlier.
You know,
right?
Mm-hmm.
You drive 4 hours a day. You work 10 hours a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You're home for 3 hours a day.
Hey, sometimes, you know, 15 minutes with my son is more impactful sometimes than a whole day with, you know, everybody else.
I'm not saying you're wrong, right. But we're also at the same time, we're fighting against this system that is keeping us all out of the house.
Correct. Absolutely.
All of us out of the house.
Well, I
the
mean,
mom,
the
one dad,
true,
everyone.
I know. And
everyone.
It is a system that was planned to do exactly what it's doing right now.
Yeah.
And if we do not figure it out pretty soon, yes, we are.
That's
what I'm saying. We were one election away, dude, from all that.
So you're saying an uprising? So you're saying an uprising?
No, I don't think an uprising. I think a soft reset of our morals and our values and our principles.
What does that look like? What does that look like?
Well, it means not worrying about so much, not keeping up with the Joneses, dude, not putting ourselves in debt with certain unnecessarily things that we don't need. Not being upset when people, you know, elevate themselves, like being happy for your friends when they, you know, get promotions and different things like that, instead of them being further.
But what you're talking about is not. It's not a.
It goes to a whole moral compass. Of course, it is.
It's not because,
absolutely,
like you said,
it's very difficult.
It's a moral compass,
yes.
But like you have to jumpstart that with policy. Like you have to. Well,
if we're talking about that, but you know what? More than any mandated policy, dude, strengthen numbers. If your whole population is this certain way, you hold yourself to that certain standard, just like we do here at Riggs with safety and everything like that. If you are holding yourself morally, ethically, right, and you are actually taking that responsibility of being a public official, in no matter what capacity, dude, from teachers to coaches to our elected officials, if you take that with that higher moral compass, and that is your standard, surely your standards will be elevated.
I understand that, but
there's
like
a different part of the world where this actually is life.
This is like you're not.
It's not a pipe dream.
No, but you're not going to just turn it into that.
You don't.
It's never going to just turn into that.
It's infectious. Listen, negativity has 9 to 1, right? As far as its efficacy. Okay.
What do you think would happen?
So much more powerful. So you do need more people to spread more positive energy on social media, on these different things. You need 9 times more of those people putting stuff out there than the negativity, because you
have to allow the people to do it. Right now, these algorithms are controlled by corporations.
I see, but mine, as far as like what you're like seeing, that's what I'm saying.
Have you looked into this at all? Mm-mm. Like, okay, so everything you see on social media, on social media,
predetermined.
This algorithm is designed to make you buy stuff, essentially, right?
Sure.
So it makes you, it like has this hypnotic effect.
Mm-hmm.
It has this rage factor to it.
Yep.
So like this premise of like we need to allow these this positivity and like great, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. If you allowed social media to be run by the people that were in it, right, and not by ad companies and not by like these things where they're turning up dials politically, they're turning up dials, go buy this, go buy that, right? You might be onto something, but you can never get to that point because but all of the money in social media, which is a lot of money, is controlled by these algorithms that are making people buy stuff, right? They have nothing to sell if they turn that off. So they're never going to turn that off, and they're never going to get to like people being positive and like that's all you're seeing because it's
it depends though.
No, it doesn't depend. It doesn't depend.
My algorithm, I don't see a lot of negativity.
You're never
going to
get to it. You're never going to get. But you're never going to get to it.
I check my wife on that all the time, and I always
great.
that always comes to my mind. Well, no, because I wonder. I'm always like, I would like to go to random people in a doctor's office, and everybody switch their phones and say, let's scroll through your reels and let's see how different your algorithm. Oh, dude, it is 100% true.
Yeah, but you're not.
So
you're not very
darkness.
You're not very open minded about.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, but you're not about like there's social issues you're extremely close minded to. You know, like there's stuff that like that your algorithm, and it might make you happy, right? To see, look, Charlie Kirk like telling some college student why they're wrong about wanting to be transgender, right? That might make you happy. You might consider that positivity, but that is rage bait. Like that is social media knowing you, knowing where you stand, knowing your social,
of course,
right? And then right after that, right, and then that makes you right, and then buy this T-shirt, right, or whatever, right? But like what you're really talking about is not that like some.
But what do you put out into the world? I think that ultimately dictates your algorithm, for sure.
But that is in your algorithm.
A lot of it.
Right, so you can't sit here and say your algorithm is all positive.
There's plenty of bombings and shit. Yeah, I'm just down with that right now.
But that's not positive, right? So you're never going to get to that because social media knows that, like, to get you to buy something, it needs to throw these things in. So to remove that would be to remove the equation that they have for getting people to buy stuff. If they remove that equation, it makes it not. You can't market it.
So
you take the money out of social media, and you're never going to take the money out of social media. Right, so you need to just do away. You need a policy that says no social media, right?
Why that seems like the most fascist dictatorship I've ever heard in my life.
Well, if what we're saying is that like
but how about fucking control for people?
Great,
not click it or to
how about
watch
16?
What
how about
they
kids?
are putting.
How about 14-year-olds?
Well, there should be. There are laws with that. But that comes down to me. That comes down to you. That's a parenting issue, dude. That is not for the government to step in and do.
But that comes down to us. You can't control that all the time.
What the fuck?
How can you? If you're home 3 hours a day, how are you going to control?
Listen, I hear you.
There's 14 hours a day.
They can have a flip phone. Right? They could have whatever. You could have it to where you shut it off and they can't override it with a password. I know.
That's a policy that says no social media.
Well, listen, that's just in my household. That's not my, that's not the fucking government.
But if it was illegal to be on social media before you were,
I think that's asinine.
Before you were 18. Before you were 18.
Okay.
You're not allowed to smoke a cigarette before you're 18. Why should you be allowed to go online?
We still smoked cigarettes before we were 18, like dummies.
We were jerk-offs.
Okay, well, people are still going to
it's still gonna happen.
Gun laws and all that kind of stuff. You're not going to stop these smugglers and all these people from getting guns. You're not going to take them out of the criminals' hands.
But you're not. You're not letting me talk.
I love you.
You got to let me talk, buddy.
It's not making sense.
You got to let me talk.
Go ahead.
You got to
talk.
It doesn't. Yeah, but
get it. This is what we've done since we've been in 6th grade. I love it.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the first time you guys have had
always,
this
and I love it too. Oh, dude, we could be screaming at each other, and it's just like, all right, yeah, you ready? Yep.
It doesn't. So
I'm just trying to grasp what you're saying in a nutshell.
Okay, but the kid, like,
because you're saying we're doomed. There's no way to
you knew it was
turn
wrong.
This around.
When we were 17, you knew it was wrong to smoke a cigarette.
Of course, it was terrible.
Right? We didn't want to smoke a cigarette. Right? We snuck around. It felt bad. That's why we liked it. Right? There was like an overriding.
Right.
You knew you were doing wrong.
Correct. That
right?
was part of the
reason
you
didn't want to get caught. You didn't want adults to know. Like you felt like kind of like a little scumbag for doing it.
Yeah.
If you weren't allowed to be on social media before you're 18, you're on social media, you're gonna feel like a little scumbag for doing it.
All right. So, but what? Okay. So why? Listen, I don't necessarily say I disagree with that. I don't know. I think, 18's a little.
Do you think we should be allowing social media to like if social media
it can
knows
be very negative
if social
to them,
media
for sure.
If social media knows how to get you to buy a T-shirt, and I'm not saying that I
buy that shit off.
Dude,
I do.
I intentionally go to the website. I get off of Facebook, go to the website, so it doesn't think it got me. but it still gets me. Right? Like
What?
it still fucking gets
I
me.
buy
Right?
stuff off there all
I
the
do.
time.
I like fuck Facebook. I get off it. I don't want anyone to make any money off this. I go to the actual website on my browser and then I buy what I'm looking at.
Why? I'm why, dude?
Because
I'm into it.
I don't want them to think they got
I
me.
have my shop. Why not? That's the age we're
that?
living in right now.
Do you really think?
You breed your own destiny, dude.
But do you really think that people left to their own will be able to like here? Like I see people as coming. Like people are having this conversation, right?
Mhm.
Like this is what social media is doing. This is bad. Blah
Sure.
blah blah. It's becoming more of like it's more like we know what they're doing now, right?
Mhm.
Like you ever like just go scroll and you're just like
Doom scroll.
like
Yeah,
dude,
for
like,
sure.
like what am I doing?
Yeah, for sure.
You
I
turn
put
it
it all in
down,
the fridge sometimes.
You put it down and then you pick it right back up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like without even thinking about it.
Absolutely.
While
You know
your
how many
kid's
false
trying to talk to you.
Yes, try to take it off your phone and then realize how many false clicks you do.
I know.
It's disgusting. I know.
Yeah.
It's true. So if I need something done or something,
But
I'll put it on top
people
of
are
the fridge.
people are and so like now it's not a question of like why is this it doesn't have to be a question of why is this happening anymore. Like
Right.
it's out there. Like the
Yeah.
information's out there. This is what they're doing. They are hypnotizing you. They are using techniques that have been used for centuries on human beings.
course.
They are affecting parts of your brain.
Yep.
You are addicted. You are literally addicted to this.
Right.
You know? I don't know, man. I think that's really bad for a developing brain, dude.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And the studies
and I don't
aren't
think
even
it's fascist.
truly.
I don't
for
think
that.
it's fascist to say that like our kids shouldn't be on social media.
Well, no, but to enact it, no. And
put a policy in place?
No. Well, I thought you were talking about social media in general, dude. I was like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like in general. You know?
What do you
I don't
think?
know.
What, yeah, but okay. What do you think would happen to
Anything
the
in
world?
moderation, dude.
But what do you think would happen to the world if every phone was just a phone? Right?
Oh, I don't.
No,
I think
don't even get rid of social media.
Right.
Just make every phone a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
Well, I think that would
That would be a
definitely-
major improvement,
for
dude.
sure. Absolutely.
Like if you wanted to go
More
on social media,
conversations on the
you'd have to
subway
get your
and
laptop
fucking-
out. You'd have to
Yep.
put it on your lap. You'd have to make sure it was charged. You have to click on the icon. You'd have to, you
Yep.
know, you're not just like bang, bang, bang,
No,
bang, bang.
I agree.
Right? You're not in line.
Yeah.
Just
All the time.
Yeah.
Right. Holding up the
Yeah.
line or the cashier being
Yeah,
ignorant
you're not
to
at a
her because you're
stoplight.
talking to somebody.
right.
Right.
So
No, I
don't
agree.
get rid of social media. How about you get rid of the supercomputer in your phone, in your pocket?
I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen. However, I
won't.
think
It won't.
that would be a good start.
Yeah, it would.
You know,
But
we
then,
were
but
there.
Yeah, and then you get more people just thinking. You know, I've been like enraged, man, for like a year, and I don't even know why. And it's because I don't feel like I'm in control of like anything anymore. Like my life, I'm not in control of my future. I'm not in control of that. Like, and it's
You're not supposed to be.
well, no,
You're not.
no, but it's everything, right? It's finances,
Right.
it's this, it's like everything,
Mhm.
right? And I'm like I've been feeling like I can't like spread my wings, like I can't ever reach my potential. Like, am I ever gonna reach my actual potential? Is anyone ever gonna give me a chance to like be what I can be? You know what I mean? And like, I don't know what the answer is to that, but like it always comes back to like just like this thing like above like everyone. You know, it always comes back to that somehow for me, right?
What thing above everyone?
Like just this thing that's pulling the strings.
Of course there is. It's
Yeah.
called God.
No,
Right?
no.
Well, I mean,
I'm not talking about God.
Okay, but
I am not talking about God. I'm
all
talking
right.
about something between
Uh-huh.
between me and God. Right? It's like this you know, like who decided it was cool to just like make the electric bills go up like 600%? Who decided it was cool to get the gas bill up 400%? Like who decided it was cool that
Your
like,
elected government officials.
Yeah.
Bad policies have bad consequences. Your vote does count.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what I'm saying. That's what we really have to, like, you know.
But there's a no, but that's too it's not a deep enough look. You're not looking far enough, right? Like what really is the reason for that, right? Is it the AI companies? Is it the
I mean,
the
some of
power
that could
plants?
go on,
Yeah,
right?
it's the power
Yeah.
plants. Like
A lot
you
of
got to
the
follow the money,
industrialization.
right? You got to follow the money. It's not the
Yeah.
politicians. It's not, dude. It's
If
not.
somebody signs the bill, they could either veto it or not. So at the end of the day, if the buck stops with me, guess what? It is on me.
There's no one person who can stop anything.
But man, dude,
there's not.
Yeah,
there's not. Dude, there's always going to be
just
checks
like,
and balances.
What are you talking about? I mean, just not even to get political, like whatever, but just like she could stop it, how she froze your electric bills and like whatever, just like, to stop the invasion of illegal immigration coming over the borders and everything like that. No, we didn't need Congress and all that. We just needed a president that was going to enact a law. No, you need a governor that's just going to, we haven't been.
Like ICE hasn't been active.
But I'm just saying, yeah, but that's already after 15 million people came in 3 years before,
well, yeah,
right? But I'm just saying, right? It turns out we didn't need all that. We just needed a different set of principles and values and a policy to stop it. It didn't need everybody.
Right.
Well, but your electric bill, though, no, get it very straight. She can, just like she stopped it, she could do something to lower them for you guys. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not in New Jersey. I'm very, dude. It's like being in that. I don't think
anyone can.
I disagree. I don't know. It's got to be the highest in the nation. It's not anywhere near me.
Has a utility bill ever gone down? I mean, ever?
It should. I don't know. There's no reason why you guys have a delivery service of like $200. That is insane, dude.
Here's the problem.
That's insanity.
Because, because they're trying to get everyone right.
Yeah, but okay. So here's
the problem, right? So the people
wrong.
that New Jersey bought their electric from. Right?
Okay,
so
it's like
it's not. You don't just. It's not just like a bunch of kites with like spoons flying in the Atlantic Ocean and it just turns into electricity and it gets trapped in a box, right? You got to buy it from someone, right? So the people that like Atlantic City Electric, who serves all of New Jersey, or Pico or whoever,
right,
was buying their shit from. They started selling shit to these AI companies, to these what are they called?
Data centers,
big power plant,
data centers.
Yeah, these places that
right,
they just
industrial, right, Amazon warehouses.
Yeah, a ton. Right. And so like it's not going through Atlantic City Electric to them. They're getting it straight from the distributor. So now this distributor who's selling all of this product, right? Where otherwise they were only selling it to like people and like some commercial stuff, something like here and there. Now they're getting their whole nut off like with these data centers and stuff in this area.
Right.
So now they're just like, oh hey,
they're passing along.
Well,
the
no,
bill.
it's a supply and demand. Oh well, hey,
yeah, well,
give
that's
us more money.
Insane,
like we're fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see. I would be interested to see if the rest of the country is like that.
So now Atlantic City Electric has to say, look, we got to charge more. Or like we can't take a loss on all of this electric. Like we have to charge more. So the Board of Public Utilities is like, yeah, I can see what you're saying here. Like you will just fail. Your business would fail to exist if we don't allow you to charge more.
Fail.
Well, how do you stop this guy from charging that much to Atlantic City Electric? Is the question that's the question? Like where does the buck actually stop?
That's where your policymakers and everything like that need to do their fucking job. Excuse my language. Right. That's where they need to do their job.
Well, that's why, like,
I mean, come on, dude. Like, seriously? Like, no, seriously. Like, I'm so, it's like that abusive relationship that you just couldn't get away of. And then, like, you look back 10 years later and you're like, thank God I got out of it. That's like New Jersey, dude. That was like, now looking back of being a Pennsylvania resident, right? And even working in DC and different things, you get to see it differently, right? My taxes are different. Everything is so much different. It's like insane. The cost of living is that much cheaper, but
supply and demand,
right? But
it's supply and demand. Dude.
I don't know. It's also policy.
It's
also policy. Like our gas tax, it's much more, and not too much far off from you, but they have the highest gas tax in the country in Pennsylvania, right? So it does balance out. Their wages are a little bit less, so that does balance out and everything like that. It just is expensive life in general right now. Yeah. However, some of these things, dude, you can't tell me there's any justification in the world that you guys are paying $400 for fucking delivery services. There's no reason. You can't justify it. You can't not to me. Not to me. See,
I agree.
That's why there is a mass exodus from a lot of these fucking these states.
I agree, but what are you gonna?
New Jersey's next,
right? So that brings us back, right, to like.
I don't know what happened to all these wind farms and everybody storing all this electric from the solars, dude. I thought like they had a plethora of stored energy. Well, where the fuck's it at? I know we're in Energy Defender Studio right now. Like where is this excess of energy? Yeah. Right? I mean, I know these data centers and the AI and all that kind of stuff. It is like unimaginable the amount of water.
So the gas companies are going to try and access the aquifers under New Jersey and convert the water to.
I think that's a bad idea too.
No, it's not,
dude. I think the water is going to be the next gold. All right, and we are going to enter it to where we
No, but
are
it
like
replenishes
truly.
itself constantly.
I think we're going to have a water shortage at some point in our children's lives.
But
100%.
water replenishes
maybe even
itself.
right. Okay, but to the magnitude that we need it, and
So,
now
like-
are they taking shit water, replenishing that, and using
No,
that
like-
for these
no, the
data centers and everything?
The aquifers that
Mhm.
are under New Jersey, which is fresh water,
Right.
those there's like trillions and trillions and trillions of gallons
Okay.
over there, and
They won't run out.
well, they will eventually, but if
At
New
the-
Jersey alone uses,
I mean,
it,
look at a lot of these places.
so if they would have to take like X amount out so that they could put it in the gas lines, right? If they put it in you can cut natural gas with hydrogen, like 20% or less, without having to change all of the infrastructure. You can cut it with, I mean, you could run a house on hydrogen, on water. Like you can run a house on like the heat for a house, but the problem is that you need way more hydrogen than you would gas, right? And there is way more hydrogen than there is gas anyway. But all the infrastructure would change because it would have to be blown through like a smaller, like instead of a 1/2 inch service, you would need a 1/4 inch. Like you need like a lot of pressure for this, like because it's very small.
hmm
So, I mean, changing all of the infrastructure is like kind of out of the question because it's just, well, I mean, it would be great for us, but
Right.
they're not going to do it. So they're trying to get like, I guess 20% or less. They're trying to cut it. And then what that would do is they would need, theoretically 20% less gas, which would, they would be able to charge us 20% less.
Can I tap in about the water here?
Come on, get it.
Like with the aquifer, like that took billions of years for that water to get down there.
Mhm.
We are taking it out way fast. Like we don't have
Oh, look it
billions of
up.
years. That's the number.
Yeah, look it up. Look up how much we get a year. Look how much it replenishes itself a year. It's quite a bit.
And
I'm just saying, I think
I'll look up the number. But okay, who came up with that number?
Oh.
My guess would be the people taking it out of the ground.
Environmental protection, whatever, probably, yeah. I don't know.
I highly doubt it.
Who else is going to come up with it?
The
You think
people
there's
that
like a-
the billionaires that want to take the water out that can
Yeah.
self-fund these research
You might be
studies to
right.
say we're not the
You
problem.
might be
No,
right.
let us dump
But then
all
we're-
of your fresh water.
Right.
Which by the
But then
we're talking
doomed.
fresh water. Most of the water, like 98% of the water on the surface of the earth, is not fresh.
But then we're doomed.
yeah, dude, you mentioned California
that's what
earlier.
I'm
Why do you think California is burning down? Their aquifer is almost out of water. Like we're blessed here in New Jersey.
Yeah, but
we have
they
a
could
really good
run.
one.
They could run pipes from North to South California, and they would have plenty of water. There's plenty of water in Northern California. There's enough water in Northern California that if they ran 2 monster pipes like they were planning on doing before it got shut down by politics that didn't want the water in Southern California, then they would have been able to control all of them fires.
I think we have an idea about water that is just because it's so easy to access. You just flip a faucet in your house and it's there. We think that it's unlimited, and it really, really, really is.
But
not.
there's much less natural gas.
Well, yeah, but there's natural sun and wind
Yeah,
and
but
all the other things too.
sustainability
Okay.
with water. I mean, that's big.
Yeah, but
dude.
the wind. I mean, like those wind turbines don't do anything as far as like
Well,
utility goes.
once like politicians and again all these billionaires get their hands in, it ends up not actually fixing the problem. But the solutions are there
Maybe.
that don't involve dumping trillions of gallons of water on computers.
Well, look.
What
I mean, why can't they do shit
I
water
want your-
or salt water? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
It
they can
just blows my
They can
mind.
desalinize the water. They have to desalinize the water to make it fresh. And if you desalinize the water, then you can convert it to hydrogen, or you can use it for whatever. Like you can use it for a lot of stuff.
I don't know.
But again, we're running into this. Like there is a finite amount of resources on this planet. Bottom line.
Yeah,
But the
for
only
sure.
thing that continues to come is water.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily true because if you look at the end of The Big Short, right? They predicted that water is going to be like the next gold rush, right? The next crash, and everything that they're investing their money in is water because it will be one of the highest commodities that there is. I mean,
Yeah,
because
there's no-
we need it to. We don't exist without it, and there will come a time.
Is that why Bill Gates is saying that they gotta like
that's
wipe
what-
out the population?
Yeah, listen, he's just a scumbag. But
Why is he
you
saying
know,
that?
well, a lot of that. Well, because supposedly, we would need 2 Earths to sustain our population that we have now. Now,
As far as what resources?
As far as resources, sustainable resources.
For how
yes,
long?
Correct. I don't know the
What's-
exact figure, but not forever, right? But just at the current rate that we're at right now, but that's why a lot of the. I mean, even though he's crazy and all that kind of stuff, but that's probably why a lot of the lab grown meat and all those things are whatever, or the processed foods that we eat and different things of that nature that could be mass produced, right? That's why a lot of, because I mean, think about it really. If we were really going off cows or McDonald's for how many burgers they sell every day, if it was real fucking meat, my guy, like
Right.
there's just there isn't
Right.
enough on this earth to sustain that.
Yeah. We were
Do you know what I'm
talking
saying?
to Hammerbacher's, and they were kind of making that point that like at some point it's going to be like a rich people's game to
Oh,
like, eat
100%.
steak.
For
like,
sure.
Like, it's going to be like you got to get real, like you got to know someone,
Especially if there's some sort of famine, or
Yeah,
if,
you
it,
really gotta
if
be
we had to
someone,
like
yeah.
kind of start over with
Yeah.
that, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the same thing goes with water and everything. I mean, these are it is going to run out, right? And as far as even Bill Gates or his global plan and different things of that nature. What were we even talking about? Well, with the water, buying all these farms and stuff like that. Because a biggest thing, it's not necessarily for crops; it's for water. A lot of these Chinese companies, not only are they buying farm land around, our military bases and all that kind of for strategic placement, right? A lot of them are hoarding the water, and like that's fact.
What's the aquifers looking like?
So it seems like at least in New Jersey, you're pretty much right that they do sort of replenish themselves. But that's
It's
right
the largest
now,
aquifer in the world, in the whole world.
and
Yeah.
you know
It
that's
is.
pre
Yes.
all these data
New
centers
Jersey's
and stuff
is.
like that.
Interesting.
That's why we have such good like plant. That's why it's the garden state.
Well, but how long is that truly and honestly sustainable for?
It's sustainable in the current setup the way it is right now.
Forever.
But
Yeah.
well, no, build
Well,
these data centers and
yeah.
then things are going to change.
Like the production, for sure. Like
Yeah.
that's.
So yeah, and who's gonna stop that? Right. So like Bill Gates.
Yeah, but there has
who's
to
gonna
be
stop-
alternate sources to cool that down.
Yeah, but
It has to.
all
just
right.
has
How
to.
about you just don't do it? Like, what do we need them for? Why do you need these
Dude,
data? Like, why do you
we
need
have
a
entered-
self checkout? Like, why do you need these things over the expressway that read your Easy Pass instead of a toll booth operator who makes like a decent living working at the expressway? Like, why do we have to replace ourselves with robots? Why?
Because we've already exceeded that point.
Yeah, but why do we
Because
have to do it?
technology and everything? Because it's already happening, dude.
Yeah, but
it's already
why?
It's already done.
But why?
Because we thought that it was
But
smart
now,
to
but we're
let
not
technology
there. We're not
keep.
there, right? We're not there. We're not tapping into this aquifer and drying it out because we need it for a resource to power this supercomputer, right? We're not there yet.
Mhm.
Why do we know it's coming? Like, why do we have to do it? Like, why can't we just stop? Like just have a normal phone. Like, can't we just go back to that?
I mean, we could. That would take a lot of. Listen, we can go to the Amish, right up by me, 25 minutes south of me, buddy.
What
Okay?
good's it gonna do being two extra Amish? Us.
Listen,
We'll fuck.
takes a village.
The
dude.
Amish, they won't be Amish anymore.
Listen,
Yeah,
no,
look,
come on. I
we're
am
gonna
watching.
corrupt them
Listen,
all,
I don't
bro.
watch a lot of TV. We've had that discussion. I think it's a waste of time. However, I am watching the show with my wife, though. It's my guilty pleasure right now. It's called Suddenly Amish. It actually takes place in Lancaster. And they take regular, average Joes, and they integrate them into the Amish community. And they have like a reckoning day after a certain amount of weeks to see if they want to become Amish or not. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it, dude. Like the replenishment, right, of the Amish community is not so, vast,
I'm
right?
not saying go back that far.
No, I know, but a lot of them, they're just like, oh yeah, you look around, and then you're kind of like, oh yeah, that's my cousin,
I
that's
mean,
my
we
second
have
cousin.
so many more people, and like we're creating less and less. Like we're just like
Well, we are.
we're-
That's choice. Our oh my goodness, dude. Our procreation rate is like dropping off dramatically.
well, that's because of conversations like these.
What do you mean? Well, no, I think a lot of that. Don't get me started, but I don't want to.
Get started. That's why you're here, dude.
I think a lot of that is with our current landscape of, especially within our households and stuff like that. Well, not only do we did they force us into needing a dual house income to survive anymore? You know what I mean? They literally took, women out of the household and from raising our children. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just
So we
those-
can't have as many kids.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, look,
well,
no one's
think
had
about it.
the
No,
days of having
because-
like 8 kids is like, man,
well,
ain't no one doing
but
that.
think about
Right.
why. How can you possibly now when you need to work?
Yeah, but
like
you don't need
your
to
wife
have,
needs
right.
to go.
But you don't need 8 kids anymore,
You know?
right? They used to have 8 kids.
Yeah, but that's
to
why
help
we
with the
had
farm.
such a.
They did.
Dude, I'd have 17 if my wife would. I mean, we've had the conversation.
But you don't need them. I mean, right. So like my
think we
family,
need to
my
have way
family
more
on
babies.
my family on 15th Street, right? Like they came here from Italy. They had so much property, 15th Street, First Road, like, and they're still there. Like it's still like Calabria, Olive.
Mhm.
You know, it's the family still has a big presence there. But before there was like one or a couple of houses on these monster blocks. Like
Right.
these blocks are, 3 miles around, 3.5 miles around. These are big blocks, right? And it's all farmland, and they had a big farm, and it was crops, and it was farm, and it was pigs and stuff, and like
Now it's a data center. It's like
but you had a lot of kids,
right.
so you had extra hands,
Yeah.
right.
Sure.
You did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you had a lot of kids. So like, help. Like here.
Yeah, well,
milk
no,
the
there
friggin'
just
cow.
wasn't birth control, right? That's another reason why we're.
Dude, they had a lot of kids to help. I mean, like
No,
that's
I understand that, but I'm just saying we're talking about population rates, right? And especially in the United States, there's a couple indicators throughout, since the 70s or whatever, to where our depopulation has really significantly dropped off to where we are now.
isn't that what they want though?
That's what they want, sure, yeah. It's unfortunate though,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's not happening really necessarily on a global perspective, right? You have a few countries where, it really is happening, and there's a couple that are entering dangerous territory of not being able to rebound. We are kind of getting close to that.
What explain that?
So, right. So there comes a certain point, to, global population rates, right? If I'm not mistaken, it was like 2.2 or something like that was our average. Okay. How many babies that
A family was having.
correct.
Yeah,
Okay. Now I believe we're at like 1.5. If I'm not mistaken, it might even have dropped to like 1.3.
What does not recovering from it mean though?
So you basically kind of go extinct, right? I mean, they're seeing that in the really big in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. To where, yes, like they're talking about like their population collapsing within a certain amount of time. It's not sustainable anymore. That's why you go
4
over
million people down to nothing from having one.
essentially.
Yeah, but if all right, so if there's 4 million people, 2 million families, then they have 1 million babies apiece.
I don't know. I don't
like-
know all the math on it.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
But-
how's it
Right.
possible?
Well, you need, but I mean, think about it over time,
Lou, do you know anything about
right?
this? He's a biology teacher.
Yeah. Do you know anything about this, Lou?
I have like interesting, I don't know, weird kind of thoughts on
Let's
it.
go.
Please get it.
So, like, from a biological
Yes.
standpoint, there's this thing called carrying capacity, which,
Uh-huh.
like, any species, there is a maximum limit of how many individuals you can have, because eventually you're going to hit a cap of food, water, living space, etc., and you can't go beyond that point.
Until you meet Bill Gates.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like this is like, I feel like there's a lot of panic about it. Like, is it microplastics in our testicles that are causing us not to be able to reproduce, whatever? I kind of feel like this is another version of that.
Mhm.
Like, we've maxed out. There's enough of us.
Mhm.
And now we're just going to keep running into these kinds of problems until we either come back down or we steady
But
off.
isn't this kind of like what nature needs? Like, isn't that what the world needs?
Well, this is nature at work. Like, you could even look at COVID through that
But
same lens.
is it bad? Like, is it bad
That's what happened.
inherently? What's happening? Like, is that bad?
Well, I mean, it depends. If you want the United States of America to cease to exist, then yeah.
Well, why don't they open the border back up? We're bringing them in by the
Yeah.
thousands.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And you do have that integration and everything like that. But
But also, if you look at the U.S., England, Japan, we are all the ones who are starting to level off. India, Mexico, these other countries that are kind of behind us in like industrialization when it comes to medicine, sanitization, nutrition, things like that. They're just hitting that. So like the population's still going to go up,
Mhm.
just in developed countries.
Well,
we're gonna slow down.
India's a big country. That's the biggest country. That's like what?
yeah, I think
Yeah, and
surpassed China.
there are a lot of people there.
Like way over 2 billion, right?
Yeah, I think like
2.4
2.2 billion, or something like
2.4
that.
billion last I
Something
checked.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, they surpassed.
and they're going up.
Yep. Hey, listen, man. I think there's so many different factors, whether it be microplastics in the testicles or whatever.
1.4.
1.4 billion. That's it.
Still a lot of people.
Well, and then the other one was
China.
China was over or Asia or Yeah, China. China's 1.2 billion, I think.
ChatGPT saying 1.4 for China too. So
Ooh.
so India has surpassed them.
Yeah. Interesting.
India's always been.
No.
Oh, India's always been above China.
No, that's
Mhm.
not true.
China's catching up.
That is not
Yeah.
true.
Yes, it is.
No.
When we were in 8th grade,
Go back to chat.
go
Lou.
to 2000. In 2000, what was the populations of India and China? I guarantee you, India was more.
I'm pretty sure. I think China.
China 1.26, India 1.05.
Ah,
So-
got him.
No kidding.
So
Got
it
it.
was China and then India.
We've been
Wow.
doing this since the 6th grade, dude.
Yeah.
Since India and China.
That's good.
Love
Cool. I lost one.
it. Clock's right twice a day, huh?
Now there's some fun conspiracy theories about how China's lying about these numbers and that they're actually in population collapse too.
Yeah, I've
that
heard
they
that
don't
too.
have accurate measurement systems for a lot of their people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they don't.
It's the truth.
How could they?
I've heard that as well.
When you're talking that many people and there's like, they like live like, don't they like live in the mountains and stuff? Like they're like,
Yeah, I think
am
they
I,
got a
am,
lot
I,
of-
am I being racist?
No, no, there's a lot of like very rural parts of China.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
They like live in caves and it's like crazy.
Yeah.
They have like, they have like lines that they hang their,
sweatshops.
they hang their clothes
Poor
over,
kids.
clotheslines still,
Poor kids.
and goats,
Yeah.
right? They don't have windows.
I don't
I'm
know.
thinking of like Batman.
Gotham City,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I'm thinking of like we're Batman trained to be a ninja.
Yeah. What were we even on?
Where was
we
that?
went off biologically here.
I don't know. I'm a Bruce Wayne now.
Reproduction.
Reproduction.
That's how that
Yes,
got
dude.
there.
Yes. And I guess, dude, listen, women's rights, God bless them. I love it. I love that women have the right to vote. I love the women that, a lot of bad bitches out here who are really bosses. Women are the, cornerstone
I know where you're going with this. by
of
the way.
whatever. But I'm telling you, dude, like it really does, have big implications on family life when you do not have that stay-at-home mom. Oh, good grief. It truly does, right? Right, wrong, or indifferent, for those specific situations and having to do that.
Well, did you listen to the last? Well, not the last, but like the Rogan. A couple.
Did it?
Have you listened to Rogan recently?
Not really, no.
So you had a woman on who wrote a book about just women rising, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying that like it was never in the interest of like it was never in the interest of the majority of women to get all these rights that came from what's this era? I'm talking about the women's rights era. What's it called? Like what's the
I think women's rights era. is
Okay, yeah,
pretty good.
fine, whatever. Like the Susan B. Anthony's, like it was never in the interest of the majority of women, right? They were like, no, we're fine. Like we're fine. That's why like a janitor was able to like, feed a house of 6, right? And a woman was able to stay home and like they didn't have
Supply and demand.
well, no, but
The
like
workers.
who wanted to increase the labor force by double? It's like the bosses,
government.
right? No, it's the
The
people that were hired. It's the elite.
Uncle Sam.
It's the elite and Uncle Sam.
Uncle fucking Sam.
And Uncle Sam. Yeah. So like the
Especially.
government had a very big interest. Like you double the tax dollars, just like that, right?
Yeah.
And then like they weren't even allowing women to vote on these things, right? So women didn't even vote about if they should have these rights because they weren't allowed to vote.
Right.
So like it was like men who voted all these rights in for women.
Right.
And it ended up being a thing where like, where like it ended up just helping like these corporations, you double the labor force, you dilute the amount of money going towards these jobs because now you're doubling like labor. So now you have like half as much money per person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. The wool
And
fall
then,
over our heads.
Yeah. And
In the name of being able to vote,
Exactly.
and the man's trying to keep
and it
you
gets
down
written,
and everything
and it gets
like that.
written as like this like
I know.
power and
I
like
know.
and look,
This
there's look,
righteous
and like
thing.
you said, like I've had like Stephanie Baldwin, Chelsea Fenton, like big, powerful women on the show, like laborers, like that are awesome.
Yeah, capable,
yeah,
awesome people.
chicks,
right,
yeah.
correct.
Yeah, they deserve their place,
Yep.
like more than
For
most
sure.
men I know, right? Should be in the work. Right?
Absolutely.
But if we're going back like to then, like
Yes.
according to this podcast that I watched, like there was it benefited like the government and like these corporations more than it ever benefited women.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah, well, look at it.
Even going back, I understand that. Even going back to welfare and all that kind of stuff, man, I know. You know, it truly is. It wasn't necessarily, you know, to help women. It was kind of to, you know, disrupt the nuclear family.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Look, cut the labor force in half right now.
Yeah.
In this country.
Big money. Big money, buddy.
Who names their price?
Big money.
Who names their price?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people.
Everyone.
I know.
Everyone.
Yep.
Oh, you want me to go teach? Yeah,
Yeah.
give me $200,000 a year.
Yep.
I'll go teach. Whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, my wife does love her job, though. You know, that was the conversation we had and whatever. We
Sure.
were talking about kids and another one, and
But
I couldn't. And I understand. You know, but that's just where we've gotten. That's where we have evolved. That's what I'm saying. There's not whatever we have. Like, I don't know. We've totally flipped the narrative on what it means to be a successful family anymore. You know, now it's the nicer car,
It sucks.
and it's the kids with all the
sucks.
nicest bats and all that kind of stuff,
It sucks.
and the jobs in the executive position, man.
It sucks. You know what else it does is it puts a real strain on the extended family,
Mhm.
right? It puts a strain on the grandparents
For sure.
because now you're like you need your parents to like watch your kids
Yeah.
all of the time,
Right.
And if you don't have them watch your kids, then
It's
like
crazy.
3/4 of your wage has
It
to
makes
go
no
to
sense.
childcare.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why a lot of these people who aren't blessed enough to have, you know, parents who help with their children like we are, you know what I mean? Like, dude, how do they do it? It doesn't make any sense. So you're essentially kind of like you're just going out to get out a little bit. Because what do you really? I mean, for the average American, what are you taking home after you pay your daycare? What, maybe $6 an hour, $4 an hour?
yeah, but
doesn't make
it's
sense.
something, right?
I understand that, but to not to be away and miss it all and not be the one
Right.
to be able to
No.
raise your, in
It's
my
not worth
personal
it.
opinion,
Right. Yeah. Like,
You
yeah.
know?
It's better to figure it out. Like if we didn't have my in-laws and my parents that helped out as much as they did, and we
you'd be
had
so
to
stressed
pay,
out.
it would make no
wouldn't
sense
make
for her to
any
work.
sense.
None. Zero.
But that's what a lot of people do,
Right.
right? They go out and they have these jobs and single moms. You know what I mean? Shout out to them, dude. How did they do it? And I guess that is where the assistance and all that comes from. But you know, in my humble opinion, dude, I think that really is where, you know, the power of two does come together. You know what I'm saying? And you know, man and wife, right, or whatever, we live in a different, whatever it might be. Okay, coming together for the common good and truly and honestly building up one another, and that common core of
I
that
think
family.
I
unit.
mean, it could be done, right? Like,
What's that?
I mean, like think about it. With our wage, which is supposed to be like right, we're laborers, right?
Mhm.
Like we have like the union itself has a lot of political power. We set the floor.
Mhm.
Right, for the middle class. So our wage is supposed to be like a wage that is desirable, and it is, right? It is
Mhm.
for most people.
Yeah.
But could you?
It's probably
Imagine.
3 times the national average.
Yeah, imagine right now buying a house in New Jersey and supporting a family of 4
There's no
or
way.
3
There's no
or
way.
1.
7.
Well,
0%
you live in
chance.
Pennsylvania.
Right. But I'm saying, could
Yeah.
you imagine? That's why, you know, you
But
tell
like-
me all the time, I'll come back to Jersey. Dude, there's no way.
You
There's,
can't.
I
No,
wouldn't
you
even
can't. You
entertain
can't.
it.
Well, I mean, look, like you can't. I mean, you're spending $2,000 to $4,000 a month for a roof over your head.
Yeah.
That's 2 paychecks,
It's insane.
some
It's
3
insane.
paychecks for some time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
depending what you're doing.
Like you're spending half a paycheck to turn your lights on.
Well, that's why, you know, repossessions and everything like that
Yeah.
and foreclosures
I mean,
are
could
up
you-
like
Well,
21%
could you
right
do
now.
it? Like, say you were just like say you were like the stingiest, like penny pinchingest person in the world.
Yeah.
Could you do it?
It's still a struggle. It's still, there's a problem with that.
Right. You can't live in Hammonton.
There's a problem.
Right.
There's a problem. How do you fix it? Right? Like, what, like literally,
Right.
what do you do for
Right.
people? Like,
No, well,
I don't
you
know.
have to have like the wife. You have to have two incomes, like you
or
said.
come up with, you know, capitalistic interests and do it. That's why I think it's such a great system.
Well,
because
don't you think if you just made like millionaires pay a fair share of tax, that it would relieve the tax burden of the middle class?
No, I don't because, right, and Lou, I would
I've
like
been
you
on
to
this, and I'm
Google this
open-minded to
statistic
it.
for me.
I'm open.
Right, the top 1% pay like 90 what is it? Like 90% of the taxes. Find that out for me if you don't mind, but I'm pretty sure that is the statistic. Okay. 90% of the taxes paid are paid by the top 1%. It's insane.
I want to see if this is true. I don't think that's true.
It is true.
I don't think it's true.
It is true. And I even think it like gets into like, I don't know. And it might even be like the top 1% of the 1% pay like.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
ChatGPT says the top 1% pay about 24 to 25% of total taxes collected. The top 10% pay about 45 to 47% of all taxes.
The top 10%.
But so
top
they're
10%.
Fuck
top
you,
1%.
chat.
But the top 1% have how much percent of the wealth?
I'm pretty sure.
But the
I'll
top
have to look
1%.
up my sources,
But the
but I
top-
did see it
Okay,
from a pretty
okay.
reputable.
But that's great. But how much percent of the wealth do they have? Because if it's 98% of the wealth and they're paying 20% of the taxes, then that don't make sense.
No, I don't think that's the case.
In the
either.
United States, the top 1% own about 30 to 32% of all household wealth.
Really?
But you got 1% owning a third of everything.
Well, I thought the 1% was 90. I thought there was the top 1% had like 90-some percent of the wealth.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I think it's more in terms of like personal wealth.
Okay. So that's not the tax. Like the
Here to put it in this perspective, the bottom 50% own about 2 to 3%.
Yeah.
So if you're in the bottom half, you got nothing.
Yeah, but you're also not paying a huge amount of taxes.
As like a ultra
Like
wealthy
proportionally
person.
speaking, raw numbers, like you're not.
Well,
What,
we
of
have
the
in the
person-
U.S. top 1% of earners pay about 40 to 42%
Dude, we'll
of
go
all
with-
federal income taxes.
The top what?
Top 1%.
Pay how much?
That's not bad.
40 to 42% of all
Yeah,
federal
that's
That's
income
not bad.
tax.
That's
Right.
pretty
So,
fair.
all right,
That's
I'm
actually
gonna
pretty
have to go back to my
Is
number.
that fair? That's pretty fair.
Dude, that's insane. The
I
top
mean, it's not-
1%
That's
paying
way more
42%.
fair than I thought it was.
It's.
I mean, I kind
I
of
don't
look
know.
at it as like, you know, if I got a third of my paycheck hurts me way more than a third of a billionaire's paycheck makes.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like Bezos who makes $75,000 a year
Right.
because he pays himself through Amazon. That's what he makes. That's the kind of stuff he's paying taxes on.
Yeah.
And then all the money that's hidden in offshore accounts and
Yeah, but there's just a lot of those guys, I mean, you just get to a certain, like, there's just like, again, there's levels, right? You know, a lot of these guys are going off of debt and stuff like that, and Elon Musk and equities and all that kind of stuff, borrowing from like Tesla stock, right? Life insurance policies. There's so many, like, there's so much game in it, dude, that like you don't even realize that when you get to that level, that's just what these guys are
But
playing
don't you
off.
agree?
We could be playing off that same system
But don't
as well.
you agree that like it's insane the amount of taxes we pay?
Oh, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Dude, we fought a revolution over a 2% T-Sax.
It's crazy.
Like, and now here we are. Like, it is
it's like
absolutely
40%.
ridiculous.
And then you get taxed
way
on
more
everything.
than that, dude. Way more than that. I'm telling you, if we actually really came up with hard numbers on everything that we are taxed for, the amount of times
Yeah.
that it just filters through, and like
It's
what you're
crazy.
really paying on that dollar, it
it's
is
crazy.
absolutely insane.
It's nuts. So like that, like can't we, like it just feels like there should be something
like,
we
give
could
me
do
heartburn.
about that. Like it feels like that would alleviate the problem, right? Like if your money was your money, like say you had to pay zero taxes, which I'm not saying is realistic, but like wouldn't it be way better? Like wouldn't you be able to survive like way easier?
they don't want you to survive easily though. Like the powers that be that
Why? Why?
these rates, all these prices, they're trying to keep you exactly where
they're
you
tight.
are.
They're just keeping you
Because you
tight.
don't want them.
Yeah.
They want to pull the ladder up behind them. They don't want you to get there.
Well, it depends. I mean, I think there's so many different angles. You know, yes, there is a certain faction of them that want to keep us broke, want to keep us poor, want to keep us divided, right? Want to keep us hungry, angry at each other, and all that kind of stuff. Because you know, the more that we're strung out and stressed out and at each other's throat and stuff like that, yes, the more they are lining their pockets, the more they are moving the chess pieces, you know, behind. We are just the pawns, right? The big boys are in the back. And they're moving every which way that they want to. And it doesn't matter whether they're a rook or they're a knight, they're still going every which way that the queen wants to, just because they can pull those punches right now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but do not underestimate the power of, groups and numbers and all that kind of stuff, even from our labor union perspective, right? Those strength in numbers and all that kind of stuff. I feel like there truly and honestly needs to be some moral revolution here in this country to where people just say, like, they stop. Right. But we won't necessarily do that because the instant gratification, the Amazon at your door and all that kind of stuff, the next day is the new standard, dude. They're not going to go away from that until it is absolutely necessary.
You just need leaders. You need leaders.
But that starts with me. That starts with you. Yeah. It doesn't matter what they do. If we cannot control the four walls of our house,
but how are we
forget about
supposed to be leaders?
Our spending, our habits, our prayer, our examples we're setting to our kids, how we're holding them accountable, all the different things. It's so easy to sit here and talk about all of them and everything that these, people who, hey, let's face it, right? Let's give some of these politicians some grace here. Dude, they perform at a high level. They've made the sacrifices that we have not made their whole lives. Now, some of them spoon-fed, rich, all that kind of stuff. But, the sacrifices that they've endured and eaten shit and all that kind of stuff and trying to walk that straight line as much as they can because they know somebody's digging for information, does get a little bit of leeway here, right? So, but these people are on that high level and they have made it to there for a reason. What were we talking about again?
I think you're giving them way too much credit.
Yeah, that's.
I think it takes if you're willing.
I mean, George Bush wasn't on a straight and narrow.
If you're willing to step on everyone underneath you to get to where you want, that is what you can achieve. You can become a billionaire. You can become a politician. How many moral, ethical politicians and billionaires are there? Like you can't be like. Look at what's happening with Epstein right now.
That's a good point.
They're all the worst people you could possibly imagine.
The greatest chess moves of all time.
How many walked a straight and narrow, and how many were just able to cover their tracks?
And also, but too, how many might be implicated as well who might have been set up in that? I'm not talking about Epstein. In that dirty game.
I'm not talking about Epstein. I'm just talking about politicians in general. It's one thing to walk a straight and narrow, and to walk a straight and narrow, it's another thing to be able to cover your tracks.
True. Yeah, but you know what? It's also, I think most of them start out, as wholesome. You know what I mean? With the right intentions and everything like that. But again, greed, right? A lot of those things, we're human. We're human beings. And I think a lot of people in those types of situations, it's very, very difficult when you have life by the balls or people are promising you power, dude. Take money out of it.
But just think about
power just in general. Take money out of it. Power. It's one of the most, fuck money, dude. Because even back when there were still shekels and all that, yes, it still had the whatever, but power was where it's at.
But what I'm saying is
they will do anything to keep it, keep hold of it.
But you want things to change from a moral perspective. But the way it's going to change from a moral perspective is for the leaders of the country to it has to you need
it starts with us.
Okay, but we have to be the okay, fine. It starts with us, but it needs to be like a lot of people have to have this conversation, and the way you have this conversation widespread is you need something to plant that seed, right? Not everyone just thinks like me and you do, and can just have this conversation, and they call each other at 5 o'clock in the morning and they talk for hours. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A lot of people just don't even know what they're thinking. Right. So you got to start the conversation somehow for people. Right. And the way you do that is you have you need a leader. You need people to look up to. And that's right now, who are the leaders? Right. Who are the moral high ground leaders?
My boy, Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
I'm an avid
That's great. That's great. I don't
always.
ever see anything from Tim
I
Tebow.
see it all the time.
I don't see nothing.
I mean, I'm also, I donate to his foundation. But
yeah. But you get
absolutely, I get
the
them all
leaders
the time.
are it's Musk, Rogan, Kirk was, Hart or Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, those kind of, and all of everything they were doing was so one-sided. The conversation we're having is wide open, right? Mm-hmm. It's not social issue stuff.
Right.
right? It's like food on your table stuff,
Mhm.
right? Which is the real conversation that everyone should be having.
Right.
Right. So, like, how do you get a leader to get the attention off of the social issue stuff that the leaders that are in place right now are driving into
Yeah, but a
people's
lot of-
skulls?
A lot of people like it though, and it's not even necessarily the leaders, right?
That's a
Because then you
problem.
have to hold the media
That's a
companies and
problem.
all that kind
yeah,
of stuff,
yeah, yep.
right?
No, you got to get on
responsible.
Exactly.
All
It
of it.
It goes
But it
back
starts
to
with me. It starts with you.
It goes back
the
to
consumption.
controlling this narrative that's put out there on social media by like these companies that are just making billions of dollars from social media. Like you can't.
Yeah, but it's
can't
also
control
then.
it.
But think about the mom and the dad that are sitting there and just using it as a babysitter because the kids are chilling on the iPad now and they get
No,
to
they're not
have their
using
time
social,
now.
They're not using social media as a
But I'm just
babysitter.
saying, right? But it
They're
doesn't
using
YouTube. It doesn't same
Miss
thing,
Rachel.
dude. You know what I mean? Well, it's the
I use
same
Miss
premise.
Rachel quite
How
a
does
bit.
YouTube make their? It's ads, right?
I use-
So
yeah.
it's the same implication, right? Different, different joke. Okay,
What was that? Do you hear that?
recharge something.
Something's got to recharge.
It's my glasses, dude.
Well, to that point, I actually just got a notification. We're almost full on storage. So
Okay.
Yeah.
What the, where we at?
we're getting up to 2 hours.
Wow,
All right.
nice.
All right. Well, I guess it's
Did we break the record or no?
nah.
No, they got you by like 40 minutes.
40 minutes, dude.
Do you like that?
About blackberries.
Blackberries.
Do you like the
All
like
right.
the dip?
It was all right. It gave me a little bit of heartburn.
Nootropic?
It was
feel
good.
focused.
I feel very focused for the drive.
You're talking much better since you took
Very.
it in your mouth.
Yeah.
I noticed.
Well, you threw it at me. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't. Well, listen, man. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for doing it. I'm so
Congratulations
glad
on
we
everything.
finally
Me
made
too.
this happen.
I
dude.
know. We'll have to do it again. I know.
We should have done it. This was supposed to be every week.
It was supposed to be every week. It was. Dude, it's so hard.
Wildly
It's so hard.
entertaining.
Right? I know. Could you imagine if we really did do this all the time,
We'd
though?
be rich.
Right?
No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, one day. But that's what I'm saying. Like, no matter what it is, no matter whether it's tomorrow after tomorrow, no matter it's, Santa, my neighbor. Dude, the avenues to become a capitalist here and to make that future so that we can focus on, being the best fathers, husbands, right, politicians and different things like those we can be. Like, it really is within us. But you also need to surround yourself with a good amount of brothers who have that vision, who have that alignment, who want to see the same future you have and are going to hold you accountable and go to that. And I just want you to know, like, you always have that in a friend as me. And, like, we will find each other. Like, those people they're out here. They're ready to go, dude. You just have to be open and receptive and, like, ready for it. So congratulations on everything, your 100th episode,
Likewise.
dude. And thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Truly
Thanks for
appreciate
coming.
it, brother.
Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
All right. That's it.
Let's go.
See you. See you later.